If person won't buy data now, it go use like 15 minutes look option. That time, when I say Tinubu they shake. Now who they shake? Me and you.
To buy crates of egg for this era will be like careless spending.
With 300, if you buy mineral and egg grow. But now, 300 no fit buy egg, talk less of road. To chop single sausage shawarma now, person go dey do 2 weeks of planning.
Country dey spoil dey go. One person dey one side dey shout, "My father is the best president."
Garri wey be poor man food, don turn gold.
No be lie.
President Tinubu, abeg, do something before something do us, abeg.
Tinubu.
Oh, back to serve our fatherland with love and strength and faith. Oh, yeah. The labor of our heroes past shall never be in vain. To serve with heart and mind, one nation bound in freedom, peace and unity. Oh God of creation, direct our noble course. Guide our words, lead us right, help our youth the truth to know. In love and honesty to grow and live in just and true. Great love to eyes to build a nation where
My people, welcome. I thank you all for joining us. Uzo, as always, is represented.
Even in mass.
AY is here, and Mr. James is here for all the way from Gambia. And man, Mr. James, that story about Napoleon and that Egyptian guy, I will not forget it. I will remember that one. Mohammed Karim, yeah, that was a great one. And before we go into the main topics, the earlier conversation that was had in the previous session, I felt like, okay, it was more of a kind of information gathering session where I get a feeling that that's what Dr. Damage was doing. He was just trying to get as much point of view of a Fulani instead of questioning some of his statements and some of the things he was saying, because you can see that when he talked about when Trump was calling white supremacists, some good people were there, but what he didn't say was a lot of Europeans were condemning the white supremacist march, many of them, but you don't see that in the case of Nigeria, or when he says that, oh, it's only whether a northerner was the Fulanis are smarter than everyone, that's why. How can he act as if he doesn't know?
No.
And this
to Niger. You mistake the guy. The guy is telling you that politicians are politicians. They don't condemn where they benefit. Just like Trump cannot condemn KKK because you know that they are his people. If Fulani politicians, which are the 2%, cannot condemn the herdsman, but if they condemn them, they won't get the next. They will hate them.
There were a lot of white people that
Yeah.
condemned. My point was that there was a lot of white people that could have gained from those KKK people that condemned them too.
Do you know what he said? He said that he can only allow free to be talking in the Damage show. You can't say this elsewhere. If you say that it's elsewhere, if you go to Kanu, all right, I have this thing there, they will stone. This is a account, they're going to stone him. You know, quite all right.
Yeah, okay, Mr. James, please come in.
No, you see, I'm sure you can hear me.
Loud and clear.
Good. You see, he cannot say that, he cannot say this elsewhere. Dr. Damage's platform is international. Whatever he's saying is being listened to all over the world, including northern Nigeria. He's just lying to you and me. I want you to know something. That guy is a spy, planted to come to this program, to Dr. Damage's program to fill people's pulse. They know they are inching towards the end of the road. This was how they went to Central African Republic, scattered the whole republic till the people rose against them and flushed them out completely. In the whole of West Africa, there is nowhere the Fulanis are in power. In the whole of West Africa, even Senegal that he was talking about, the first president of Senegal was Leopold Sedar Senghor, followed by Abdou Diouf, then Macky Sall, Abdoulaye Wade, then Macky Sall, and this boy who is there now. None was a Fulani man.
Sorry, Mr. James. The current president of Gambia is Fulani, is Fula.
No. His identity is not known. This is where I live.
So
okay. His name is Adama Barrow. Barrow is a Madinka name. He grew up in the midst of people. He's a very complex guy. Nobody really knows his true identity. So
let me say this. So Adama Barrow has origin from the Fulani. You need to ask more questions. No. Even the former president of Senegal, Macky Sall, he has origin with the Fulani. Confirm that as well. We'll discuss it next time.
Okay.
Not like to Niger. We don't know the Fulani.
The point I'm making is this: there is no country in West Africa where they have a firm hold that we are in power. This is the base of the Fulani. They have no clear-cut control over any country in the whole of Africa, not even West Africa. This guy who was with us was a spy planted in our midst to feel the pulse of what is going on. Since Bola Tinubu took over the government, although Tinubu is not my man, I must make it very clear, but since he took over the government with his style of appointment and his ways of doing things, even the vice president is more or less frustrated. I think one of his advisors resigned yesterday or today, I can't remember. They are not comfortable at all. They know fully well that power is slipping through their fingers. Now, take Delta State, for example. You know the Urobos, they are in majority, although not absolute majority. But for fair play, they decided that let the Igbo-speaking part of the country, of the state, become governor as well. So they decided not to contest it with them at all. That was why I think the last governor also became governor. But if you have to go through democratic process, it will have been impossible. That is how to live together in peace.
Exactly. That's the point I was making to him. How can you just usurp the power completely like that?
The point forefathers was making, the guy deliberately refused to see it. He kept
the forefather
making useless.
Okay. I'd like to ask forefather question. My question is, what changed? I know you forefather, but this and last year you were against anybody that called Fulani, the nephew against.
No.
When we are telling you,
no.
I landed somewhere.
That is where we have a problem on this platform. Forefather, I have always said it. Like I've seen forefather is on the other
I'm not.
platform.
Let me finish, Lam. Let me finish,
Okay, go
Lam.
ahead.
I said
You
what
just
I
interrupted
know.
Mr. James. You didn't. Now you want
No,
to
he said,
finish. Why did you
but he
finish? You
said he
interrupted
finished
Mr.
now.
James. Look at them.
He said,
This
Mr.
Roforobo
James
guy.
said he's finished.
Eh?
Mr. James said he's finished. So my
Oh
point
yeah.
is, I know last year when we are saying this about Fulani, all right? Further, you said we should not profile an ethnic group, which is Fulani, all right? So, but today you did the same thing, all right? I want to ask, what changed? What changed? Had Fulani come to your village that make you to change your mind like DSS,
Oh, what are
director?
you talking about? But what I said today
Yes,
wasn't
no,
profiling them. No, what I said today was
no, no,
about
no.
solving the problem.
No,
Because you
you
can't.
see,
Don't
You
you
cannot be.
understand? By the
There was
time you start measuring a group of people, that means you're already there. That what the conversation we had before.
no.
you
You
see,
can't. You can't.
So
Just by
what?
talking about
What
people, you're not
changed?
profiling
What my
them.
question? What changed? What
It
happened?
didn't
What
change.
changed? Before
It didn't change.
you are for Africa, for Nigeria, you
I
don't like
am
to discuss
still.
anything that is not togetherness. But what changed now? I don't know.
no, you
If
see,
Let me quickly say something.
this problem we are grappling with, if we are not careful, is going to spill out of control. Obasanjo many years ago said that if the Fulanis are not careful, the other ethnic group will team up against them and resort to ethnic cleansing. Obasanjo said this things many, many years ago. And that is the situation we are inching towards slowly. A situation whereby a cattle rearer will invade your farm, destroy the crops, and even expect you to apologize. A cattle rearer will rape your daughter or your wife and expect you to apologize to him for raping your wife. That is the situation we find ourselves. And I think it was forefathers who asked the man a question, or maybe Kulata. Is there any socio-cultural organization of the Fulanis who have distanced themselves from what is happening? I'm asking this question again because in Lagos, in Western Nigeria, when I was a little boy, there was a notorious robber, self-styled Ishola Oyenusi. He terrorized the whole of the West. He's from Okitipupa. The Yorubas put their heads together to get him arrested, and he was executed by firing squad at Bar Beach, Lagos. In Benin State, Lawrence Anini and his gang were arrested by the Beninese, and he was executed. Actually, in the Anini saga, let me tell you something people don't know. There was a boy they called Kingsley Eweka, a member of the royal family in Benin City, Oba's family. He was involved in armed robbery. This boy was executed at Ibobahir in Benin City by firing squad. In the east, Okotoko 7 or 8, I can't remember. It is the Igbos who fished these guys out, and they made sure they executed them. What are the Fulanis doing to control this monstrous problem the country has been grappling with? This is the crux of the matter. And if they are not careful, the matter will spill out of control. And if the Rwanda experience is to be, if we are to grapple with it in Nigeria, it's going to be a world-class problem. So the world is enough for the wise. Bola Tinubu is not my man, but he seems to be taking some moves which I'm reading meanings into to address this particular problem we are grappling with. Let's give the devil his due. He's not my man. He's doing certain things which I think he wants to address this problem comprehensively from what I'm seeing.
Let me quickly say something. there was something the guy said, right? Which I actually agree with. You see, in solving this problem, the very first step, I don't know why the Senate, the rep, the president, I don't know why they are sleeping on this matter. I feel because the very first step was to ban open grazing. That is the very, very first step. First, before you do any other thing. Ban open grazing If Fulani can live anywhere in Nigeria, if the people decide to give them the land, let them acquire a land. They have a place where they have their house. If they can talk to the local government, whoever they can talk to, that's left for them. But open grazing needs to be stopped first. The reason why I think the politicians are not interested in doing this, because most of the cows you see, they actually owned by the elite, by the politicians, all over Nigeria, not only in the north, the east, the west, they own tons of cows you see moving around. That is why I feel this topic, they don't want to discuss it, they don't want to stop this madness. Like Mr. James rightly said, the way this thing is going right now, they have to do something because otherwise it's going to lead to a bigger crisis. He was trying to differentiate between the Hausa and the Fulani. The issue I see with that, Dr. Damiji played one video that the guy was saying Hausa need to separate themselves from the Fulani. I find it very difficult because when you go to any Nota family, especially the Hausa Fulani, even if it's a Hausa family, you will likely see Fulani. Either the grandmother is Fulani, the relation is not so close. Now, how do you separate both the two? Which I find very, very difficult to do. But however, the leaders in the north, both the Hausa and Fulani, they need to criticize what is going on. They need to seriously criticize it. They need to identify the group doing this stuff. Because I asked him a question, because growing up, we used to meet Fulani in the farm. They were very friendly. Now, you go across the country, go to the farm, slaughter people, then what do you want? What do you want to achieve? What do you want? Why are you slaughtering people? Because, again, if the thing continue, if the politicians don't want to do anything about it, I don't know, it might lead to somewhere else. But however, one other big problem we have as people, which I kept saying, especially the three major tribes in Nigeria, there is a fundamental problem that no matter, they don't love the country, they love their tribe, majority of these people, the Igbo, the Yoruba, the Hausa Fulani. I'm a little boy, yes, but from the history, from what is going on, you will know Nigeria problem has been a power struggle between these three groups. It has been a power struggle. Anybody can say whatever they want to say, but it is a power struggle which is still going on. They need to love their country and understand that if this country work for one person, is going to work for everybody. They don't understand that. The politicians don't understand that. They keep dividing Nigeria across this line. They keep doing it. 2027 now, you will hear another rhetoric. But when they are in the Senate, now they want to slaughter Natasha. It's like a world war. The way they come together in unity, fighting Natasha, you now won't be wondering, like, why are they doing that? You are fighting a lady for what? Like, she didn't commit any crime. Like, why are you fighting her in that manner? They are so united, all of them. You don't see discrimination. The only time you see discrimination again during election, when they want to share money, when they want to share position, that is when they start using their people are telling you, these people hate you, this one hates you. We got to come together and look for a way to work and make Nigeria work. If they insist, let them have tough discussion. I have said it. If you want to regionalize the country, better for everybody. Regionalize it instead of, okay, now Tinubu is there. Tinubu is basically the hunger of the people. Is basically putting every top position, every position to a Yoruba man. The other tribe are there looking, they're hungry. So there are issues that you can't run a country like that. You keep dividing the people. The hate keep growing. You don't do that. You can't run a country in that manner. It's gonna be a problem to everybody. Thank you.
Do we
I think there's
realize?
a bit of noise coming through. Hold on, let me just see where this noise is coming from. I think maybe this thing, Obe,
Is it me?
For
All these
No,
people
no,
that are
no, it's not KJ. It's not likely to be KJ. KJ
all
is
the people that are playing music all over my ear. Don't mind them. Is
no.
it okay now?
I think it's, I can't be sure. There's still a bit of sound coming through.
Maybe it's too Niger.
Oh, look at that. Of course, it's me. Please, okay, please go ahead, Obi.
Well, I think all these things we're talking about actually started during is it Buhari's desperation to be president. That was when this whole thing started. I could remember when we were growing up, these Fulani guys with cows, they normally comes around the area. They will come to your tap in your father's house and come and fetch water, get hydrated again, and they continue their journey. They were so friendly. People run around with them and play with them and just want to see the cow.
Exactly.
It was all fun around. When this idea of enmity started, this idea of going to eat your crops in the farm, these things were not existing before now. There has always been cattle rearing and grazing all over the years. But where did this thing come around? During that Buhari's threat of coming to import people that were not actually the Nigerians among them. I think that was what we got it wrong. Because before now, they have intermarried the Hausas that would no longer differentiate them between an Hausa and a Fulani. That's actually where the thing started from. And after this whole thing, this idea of killing and not killing your brother, and it became so popular in the country, and the politics now entered that they can no longer handle it again. That's where we are today.
Yeah,
But I
but
think
can you imagine, though, Obi, what Nigerians seem to be saying that they are going through? Because there's another side of the story that we don't talk a lot about. That some of these friction also has another angle where people are stealing their cattle that results in some of these actions. However, but can you imagine what people were feeling and were going through during the period when the Fulanis and like through Madam Fodio was conquering into Nigeria during that period? People will be like, what is going on here? These people don't even that they are taking over everything. And they literally took over everything. It's really interesting. Then it was worse.
Is there any business that you don't have stealing? Is there any business that you don't have stealing? That one is one in a million, 1 in 1,000.
Yeah, but for them, cow
It's
is
not
a
the
lot
idea.
more now.
But
The idea.
listen, Ewa and Obe,
Yeah.
Ewa and Obe, you see that you guys are not even current to what is going on. You guys are talking about Fulani and cow. They are talking about Fulani with AK-47 kidnapping people on the south. That's the main problem now, because kidnapping people, killing and kidnapping people in the whole south. Remember, when the Fulani are with cow, they have AK-47 with them. Those AK-47, who own those cow? The politician. Did they retrieve those AK-47 from them? No, they're not with cow anymore. They are kidnapping people, moving them around, collecting ransom. That's what is going on now.
There are multiple layers of this issue. One is the criminal, and
But that's what's going on right now. They are past that stage of cow.
Uzol, Mr. Rofo, let me. This is why I call you Rofo. Hold on. I'm trying to separate it to two areas. One of the areas, I think the suggestion that I made the suggestion, and the same thing Mr. James made. And the other one is the criminal terrorism aspect, where they are terrorizing people in the bushes. That's criminal act, and security should be able to take care of that. But the political aspect, that's more dangerous one. That's the one that he's referring to, that outside people are online planning all kinds of action against the Fulanis. One, the kind of suggestion that I made and the kind of suggestion Mr. James made can sort it out. The Delta people were able to, no, just hold on. It's not going to take long. The Delta people were able to say the Urobo can go ahead. But why is it not saying outside people make up about 25% of this country? Why don't we just give them way instead of always the Fulani? Why don't they ask themselves that question?
Okay.
Let me answer. Do you know sort of just? I think I can tell you what happened in just. Then you understand what you are saying.
Let me say something. You see, I grew up in the north, and majority of those people are my friends, both the Hausas, the Fulanis, and other tribes. I want to tell you this thing, and that's why I came in. Unfortunately, I didn't have the opportunity. I wanted to deal with the guy who was the Fulani, because what he was doing on this program earlier on is exactly what they teach their children and what they are taught to do. I did my community theater in a Ruga led by an RD. Okay? And one of the things, we were there for 2 weeks. We couldn't get anything out of them until the 4 days to the end of our community theater. All they did, I'm just telling you the typical way how they behave, and I understand that mentality because I have dealt with that for a long time. All they did was to push their children. We couldn't get any story, any good information to write about them and their lifestyle until the guy perceived that our lecturer who led us in that the community theater answered a Muslim name and a Hausa name. Okay? And I won't call his name because it's very popular. If I call his name, you guys will know him, or some of you guys may know him. But when he deduced that this guy's name ended in one of the states that they've taken over, he now assumed that this guy must have had a parentage that is Fulani. So he told him, Danwa, you know our listing now, we don't share our secret with anybody. Okay? But that's how he started coming out to tell us what is their worldview. Their worldview. Now, if you understand their worldview, you will know that whatever we are doing now, we're just scratching the surface. We're not going anywhere yet. They have emasculated the North. The Hausas can no longer find their feet. That's why they hated politicians like Aminu Kanu, okay, Abakar Rimi, those people who insisted that the land belongs to them and they must have control of their own communities. They made sure that those people were reduced to nothing. Let me give you a funny list. You see, the guy came and said that the British decided to conquer. No. The British conquered the Fulanis. But do you know where the British scepter, do you know where it is? I'm going to give you a secret. Go research. It is in the Sadara's palace, the Sadara of Sokoto. It's not in Kano. It's not in Kaduna. The trophy was handed to them. If you notice, when Kelly came to Nigeria for 2 weeks, which I still blame Jonathan, because if I was Jonathan, I would put him in prison. When he came and spent 2 weeks in the North, having meetings, even holding meetings with the 19 state governors, northern governors, that nobody sent him without no.
Who was that?
John Kerry, the former state.
You put John Kerry in prison?
What are you saying?
Too much.
Well, you see this mentality.
Then he was
You can't exactly put Secretary of State in prison now. That one, you are inviting invasion now.
Come on, you see that is why we
No,
are not.
you say you will not let him into the country.
Hold on, let me.
But in normal countries, you should be in prison because that's a breach of security.
That's right.
You see,
Right.
that is the reason why
That's a bit of security now.
Any progress?
Yeah, in normal, it's not
Now-
in prison.
He didn't fly into the north. In Nigeria, government gave him permission. Come on, man.
They didn't give him permission.
Sorry, Mr. Kende.
But
Mr.
don't
Kende,
divert me. Don't divert me. Don't divert me.
They don't divert us into a war
Don't divert where I'm going.
with a
You see,
superpower.
Now you forgot we are 230 million people. You can't do that. But Burkina Faso is less than 60 million people. They kicked out France. They kicked out all their military base. They were not afraid of the consequence. They say you can't come.
Even in South Africa.
Hold on.
They didn't take the Secretary of State of France.
No,
In
excuse me.
the first place, which one is more?
KJ is right. Please, I'm sorry, Mr. KJ. I think when Margaret Thatcher left office, was it not the son who was implicated in a military coup in Zimbabwe? And
They were flying across Zimbabwe, and Mugabe brought
exactly.
them.
They arrested the boy, but through diplomatic means, they released him. So if Kerry is flouting the laws of Nigeria, what's so special about him?
No, because he's Secretary of State. That was the child of the
He came
Prime
as
Minister.
the Secretary of State, not as John Kerry.
Big
difference.
You are rather diverting me. Let me finish. Then you can take over and say what you want to say. But let me finish.
All right.
What I'm trying to lay down is the fact that when this guy came today, exactly what he did is what the Fulanis have been doing to Nigerians. You are asking one question, he's answering what he thinks he should answer. And no matter how you appear to be annoyed, he doesn't care about your feeling or your whatever. He's telling you what he wants you to hear, and that's how it's going to be. And that's the reason why they were able to take over. Now, I'll give you another example. He wasn't going to go beyond what he's telling you if you say there are few. I am surprised that even admitting that they are 7%, because Bala Mohammed said that they are 33%. Okay, Fulani are 33%, but he is saying now they are 7%. And
Fulani
he also
actually
said that less than
6%.
he also said that there are less than 2% who were educated. That's not true. That's the same
Yeah,
way they
that's
say
not true.
there
That's
are
not
no
true.
there-
Yeah.
there's no Christian Fulanis. That's also not true. But let us leave that apart and let's go to the main crux of the matter. What do they do? You know what my Bible tells me? If you kill the leader, the rest will become the sheep will become shepherdless, so you can handle them easily. And that's what exactly they did in the north. When they came, they took off the leaders of the north and instituted themselves into the authority in the north. Consequently, younger people who are growing up grew up to see them as emirs, as the people in authority, and everybody toed the line. And those people who dare to, question the status quo were taken out quietly, are taken out, and they're used as an example. And consequently, every other person toed the line. You see, that is going to be redistributed along Nigeria if we continue in the trajectory we're going right now. And when we're saying some people are talking rubbish, nobody comes here to. If you are by now you have not been able to realize that Nigeria is in a grave danger, then I don't know when you wake up, because it is spreading like cancer, and very soon the begin may happen. Now me and you go suffer.
No, yeah, you
So
are correct.
you either wake up or you
I'm
continue to
sorry,
play the
Mr.
drama, whatever
Alpha.
you're playing, and you see how it will result.
I'm sorry.
How are you?
Mr.
Yeah.
KJ is correct, because what happened in Uromi recently, if the state governor had not acted spontaneously, that might be the last straw that will scatter the camel's back. Anything can happen at any moment in Nigeria. I remember on June 11th, if somebody had predicted that June 12th will happen, people would say it's not possible. But that day came and June 12th Wahala started, and we saw the consequences. So nobody can predict what tomorrow will be in the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And from the look of this now, is every week there's always a trouble. If it's not Natasha Akpoti, it is River State. If it's not River State, it is Benue State. If it's not Benue, it's all over. Somebody should call the Fulanis to order. I'm not against them as a people. They are Africans like me. But somebody should talk to them, because nobody can say what will happen in this country tomorrow. And the consequences can be very, very tragic if care is not taken.
Yeah. Welcome. Thank you for that, Mr. James, and welcome, Tony. So yeah, I feel like they gave him a soft landing today, and they should. He needs to answer question. Sorry, there's something from your mic. Let me see if I can. Okay.
You see your mic tonight. Good.
See that. Let me forget. So the point is that there needs to be a kind of equity, because this is a democracy. This is a time in history, not only in Nigeria, is globally. People want to have a kind of representative government. And one other thing that he says that he's in a kind of backhanded way trying to say that the Fulanis are special in some ways. The reason why the period when they emerged was just about 200-300 years ago. Before that, they were just like every other tribe. Maybe a combination of the fact that they were Islamic and this in the revolution that Osman Danfodio started led to them having that kind of foothold this in Nigeria. Before then, they were just like every other group. They are not any special. It's not like Jews that go back thousands of years. These are just 200 years old kind of event. So I think that part of it, nobody corrected him when he kept making it like, oh, I don't know why, it's like something we are special or something. We've been doing this. And he also said that the Fulanis are not major. They don't have a majority group in any country. In Guinea, if I'm not mistaken, they are the largest group in Guinea. Just like in our Hausas are the largest
I
group
don't
in
think
Yeah,
so.
that's
The Suso, are they not more?
where?
The tribe of this man, Secretary of Guinea.
Yeah, they are big. They are big in Guinea. They are the biggest group in Guinea.
they are big
No, I
in
don't
one
think
of the
so.
Guinea. I've forgotten. Yeah.
No, they are in northern Guinea. They are not in the south. They are in Gegegu, Labe, Peter. They are in the
Yeah.
northern part of the. Anyway,
It makes sense that in the north because they are pastoralists. In many countries, you see the same pattern. In
Forefather,
Rwanda, they tend to be from the northern part coming down south.
Forefather, sorry, the one you mentioned on the issue of superiority, I have seen this problem among a lot of tribes in Nigeria. That's where the problem is coming from. A tribe you thinking you are better than any other tribe. It's a problem, it's a major problem. You can't look at yourself like that. It's not a skill to acquire knowledge. It's a major problem. Trust me, there is no major. A lot of tribes in Nigeria have seen this problem. I don't even know how people arrive at that point. You thinking if you are better than how do you people consider yourself better than every tribe? Like that is, I see some kind of madness. It's a problem.
2 years
Even
ago
the
when I was
Hausa
here,
have that problem. The Fulani have that problem. The Kanuri have that problem. If you come to the south, we have that problem again
it's not
across
only.
a major tribe.
That's a human nature now. Everybody.
you see that?
Yeah, that is why I'm trying to
Yeah.
caution for father. Yeah,
So don't be on try. It's a human nature.
It's one thing for it.
It's
Okay,
not the human nature, Mr. AY. It's an African problem. Even you people living in the overseas, you discover
What of America here? The one that is
they do it. They
it's
do it
all over the
overseas.
place. Human nature.
So, even inside the UK, they are doing it.
Now it's a human problem.
You know, you people in the overseas, if, for example, you come across a boy from Kenya, he will try to prove that he's superior to Nigerians. The Ghanaians will try to prove that we speak better English than Nigerians. Nigerians will try
better
to
jollof rice.
It seems to be an African problem. This is what I'm saying. Because one
but
thing
the French and the
No, even here in the workplace, in the workplace, they think that they know the job better than you. They will say to you, even as bad as they are, they still feel that they know the job better than you. The white people, all I mean. So it's human nature. It's not about African or tribe.
One thing that was confirmed today was that about 2 years ago when I was here, I said, when I hear a lot of Southeasterners abusing Northerners, especially the Hausas, I was like, but Hausas, they've not produced a president in Nigeria as much, and they have been marginalized. It's not only the Southeast that has been marginalized, that they should be looking to work with them to displace what is going on in the North. But a lot of people were like, why would you say that? They are all the same. They are. But what he came here to say today is confirming my point. Because even the Hausas in the North are thinking, okay, enough of this now. We can't have these people telling us what to do. And when I was in Nigeria, this one, nobody told me. I was in there last year, August. A cab driver, a taxi driver, a Northerner, he's Hausa. He's describing how they are different from Fulanis. And he was sounding a little bit kind of prejudicial against them. I said, but those things you are describing is as a result of their pastoral culture. It's not because they are just mean. He was talking about how they value a cow. Even a Hausa man is talking about Fulanis like this. Can you imagine that? Sometimes I feel like it's only some person that says this thing. This is Hausa man telling me the same thing. I was like, but this thing that you are judging them is based on the harshness of the environment, because I understood that. But he didn't see it like, he just felt like, he doesn't understand the logic why people value cow more than human beings. Are you see what I mean?
So Fulani value
two Naija, no, remove the hardness of the
understand why.
Two Naija, remove the hardness of the environment, all right? They didn't start from South first. Remember, I was in Jos where they wanted to take over some cities and plant an emir in Jos, all right? In some local government. And the Jos people resisted them. Remember, Jos people are not as outside person. And they were like riot, fighting, killing. They took over they run Shanda local government over. That's where this thing started. So it's not that they just come from the south straight. They started from the middle belt and approaching south. All right. So if Kikede is aware, you know Jos very well. Jos was overrun. There was a peaceful place. There you have all the missionaries, Baptist church, this, that. People go there for vacation. But less than 6 months, they run that place over. You understand my point? Nobody goes to Jos anymore. That here, the people are shouting, what's going on? What's going on? Every mission there in Nigeria, Baptist mission, this, that, American mission, all of them, they have their, because the weather there was good. That's the only thing I saw in my entire life. The weather was good, but they run that place over, mess that place up. So they approaching to the south. Remember, you can't call a Jos man Hausa, Fulani. You can't call him a Fulani at all. Because with the south, see them as Fulani. Until I go to Jos, someone remember that they don't call them Fulani, say some Hausa Fulani. They'll be angry with you. But in the south, we call everybody like, they are all Hausas. That's my point. Don't like they say, if one hand touches soil, the rest of the 5, all right? The rest of the 5, we feel it, all right? A Fulani guy have killed somebody. Now, everybody that doesn't speak Yoruba, Igbo, any other language in the south, it become, all of you are the same thing. So you understand my point? So, the guy said something. That what he said. He said, even to Fulanis, the 3% that are in the rural area, they are not even safe from those killers, Fulani herdsmen. They can run those as over also. They don't care if you are Satan out, or if they don't care of human being, what they want, their own ideology, what they want to believe, what they want to achieve. They don't care who you are. They will run you over.
They value land. They value land. They value the land. They want something.
That's one of the reasons why I wanted to come in. Fulanis don't kill Fulanis. Yeah. So let nobody tell you that they will run over them.
So do they kill Hausas?
Yes.
Oh yeah, they kill Hausas. Yes. I don't know whether they don't kill Fulanis. I don't know. They don't. The Islamic ones, the Islamic terrorist ones.
Let me tell you. I have a friend who was kidnapped. Okay, he was a member of the Secret Service in Nigeria. I won't call the one particular one, and he had his service pistol with him. Okay, when they taking them to walk their normal three days walk, and they now go to their base, they are now looking for those they want to eliminate. So they were talking, and he was one of those. When they saw his official rifle, they wanted to first take him out, and then he spoke their language, and then they said to him, why do you want to do this thing to us? Why didn't you tell us since that you are one of us? He said he didn't know how they were going to act. Say, okay, the only thing I'm not going to give him is his service pistol, but they will take him to where he will go and go free. Now, they told, in fact, this is the confirmation, because I did a business of one woman in Abuja. I was going to, I won't say the business, but eventually she didn't want to go through after I paid her money. She didn't want to go through with the business. And I said, I'm going to take her to court, and she laughed. She told me that the person who is in charge is Fulani. So if I want to waste my time, I should go there. She will not even appear in court. I'm telling you what, this is me. I'm not telling you, somebody told me. She told me that she will not even appear in court. And I'll just waste my money and waste my time. Anyway, to cut a long story short, I'm simply saying that it has been confirmed. They don't kill one another. If you see any Fulani man die in such a raid, it was out of mistake. Maybe they didn't know he was. But once they identify him, they will single him out. So this is what is going on. And let nobody say that, that whatever they are doing, they're not calculative. They are very strategic. Somebody said it was, Ewa says when Buhari came. No, it had been going on before Buhari came. The only thing that happened, Buhari emboldened them because nobody was taking action against them. And so when they noticed that, they said to go haywire with it. Okay? I told that Mebola told me, the guy who used to come clear the rubbish in our house, told me that we are lucky that Gul or Jonathan gave up because they were ready to take down everybody in Abuja. So let's not think this thing is a play. When we are talking, people are making stupid comments. Look, what we are going through, not your own relatives will be spared. As they are bringing in all the Fulanis all around the world to come and fight for their so-called God-given land, Nigeria. And you think it's a mistake. You think it's a play. You think we'll come here to talk what is not going to happen. Wait. Just give us 2 years. We'll see all of us.
One, I don't think it's going to happen like that in Nigeria. I know what you're talking about. It is real. there is a movement from the north to the south. Generally, they tend to want to push into the more grassland areas. If you look at this in Rwanda Congo one, it's a very very illustrative case where you see that they didn't occupy a lot of Congolese land, but because they came in there a little bit, then there was a lot of upheaval, just almost like the same similar stuff that's going on in Nigeria. A lot of
Do we have Fulani
instability.
in Congo?
No, no, no. You see, it is the E1B1B and pastoralism.
Okay.
That
Yeah,
is
I
the
get it.
the movement that is going on. So this strong, if you don't understand it, you are not going to see the bigger picture of what is happening. If you look at the shape of the world, what is going on is that the people in the north are flowing south. That's why if an anthropologist look at it, they might even consider it an extinction size event that is happening from the north to the south. That they are wiping
No,
out the ones in the south.
I totally disagree with you. Forefather,
In
if
what
you did
sense?
geography, you know that people have always migrated from the north to the riverine area. It's not today it started. This is a takeover
Yeah,
of
I think
people
that
and
that is
nations.
true.
So it's
No, no,
not
no.
it's not a normal migration. It's not. Look, you why
No. You
humans
don't
run away
understand what I
from
mean. I
history.
agree with that point you made about people migrating towards the water. However, if you look at the global population, if you look at Africa now, Africa right now they are beginning to even call Africa sub-Saharan Africa. Like North Africa is not even part of Africa again. They are cutting it out. Why do you think that is happening? Because there's a flow of people, lighter skinned people, flowing south. It's been happening and it's not been halted. I think it's about to be halted because the population of this, the people like Nigerian black population is beginning to rise again. The southern population of the world is beginning to rise again. But however, they are still moving
To
south.
Niger, can I ask you something? To Niger, is
And what
Tunisia, Tunisia, Morocco, are they north or south?
Tunisia and Morocco.
Not,
No,
Yeah,
they are
where are
not.
they?
They are not. They are considered North
North
Africa.
Africa.
They
They are
were not. Where are they not migrating to the south? Because they
because
feed their
they've already
country. What
taken
is
over.
that country?
Because
They
they've
feed their
already
country.
pushed out all the black people from there. What are you talking about? They have
They
taken over
feed
that
their
place
the
already.
issue that they feed their country is being feast.
Many of them are from Arab.
Yeah,
You don't know. Many of them are from the Middle East and the Levant, and they are moving further
and
south.
the same thing I'm saying. If you fix your home, all right, like you fix your country, that no need immigration. You didn't think if Southeast was good, people going to Lagos, or if Nigeria is good, I'll be coming to America to come and live.
See, if
If
you
Nigeria
look,
is good, I won't be here.
look at what is going on in
Through
Sudan
Niger,
right now.
through
If you
That's
look
what
Niger,
at
I'm
what's
telling
going on in
you.
Sudan,
through Niger. Let me ask you a question, please. If I'm a Christian and I think my place where I am is not good, and I want to migrate, and I have a choice, a Christian nation and a Muslim nation, where do you think I should migrate to?
you're going to likely go to a Christian nation.
So then, why is it that you have all the Muslim nation or Muslim people flowing into Christian nations to go and put? If it's a normal thing, I want you to think outside the box. It's not a
As an
normal thing.
example, which one are you looking at as an example?
So now let us come back to the Nigerian situation. You said these things are normal. I don't know if you know the final story of what happened to Urome, and that the people who started the chase have now come to say this was what these people were doing before we saw them. But let us leave that aside. Do you think it is normal for people now to migrate into the forest in Ebonyi, the forest in Rivers, the forest in Bayelsa, the forest in Edo, the forest in Delta, the forest in Abia, the forest in Anambra, the forest in Enugu? You think it's normal?
No, I'm not saying it is normal for people to just migrate.
And you think
It's
it's
not
normal
always normal. I
for
mean,
people? I'm coming, sir.
you're
You
not
think
letting
it's
me
normal
answer.
for villages in Bokos, in Panshin, in Lantan, to be running from their homes and looking for where to stay, and all go live in IDP camps, leaving their home? Villages in Boko, villages in Kasinala, villages in the part of Benue, for them to abandon their ancestral homes and go live somewhere else. You think that
No,
is a normal situation?
see. Let me answer this question. I think this is a problem too. The way we look at it is a problem in general. In Nigeria, there is movement of people across ethnic nationalities. You have average of 10 million Igbo that live in the north. For example, Yoruba, a lot of them live in the north. Hausa, a lot of them live in the south, in the east, in the west, in the south. This has never been a problem in Nigeria. Nigeria has always been, this is how Nigeria has always been. The issue, even the issue of Fulani, for example, I will reiterate what Obe said now. The Fulani me I know growing up, they were very friendly. If you go to the farm, you meet Fulani, you will be happy. They will give you fruits. My question, this Fulani, where are they coming from? Which set of Fulani? I asked that guy the question. He did not really give me a direct answer. I really wanted to know.
Okay, let me give you a direct answer.
So I can't blame. Yeah, go ahead.
Let me give you a direct answer. The Fulanis are coming from everywhere. The governor of Bauchi State told us that Fulanis everywhere in the world are Nigerians, and they are free to come and go as they like.
So that's a problem. That's a problem. We should have borders.
Listen. One of the things that you guys do when we talk about this, you paint a picture that's not correct. Igbos and every other tribe, they are moving around. They are going from place to place.
So what is not correct?
Hold on, sir. Which other tribe goes to your community and go and live in the bush? Do the Yorubas?
No. I think we are just now using.
Hold on, forefather. When the Igbos migrate to your town, they either rent a house or buy a land and build and do their business. I'm coming. Hold on, sir. Just follow my thoughts. When the Yorubas leave and go to Kano to go do business, they rent a house, they live in the town, they do business. But when you, the Fulanis, come to Enugu, you go to the forest where nobody has control, where people are farming, and then you live there, you pay no rent, nobody knows when they are coming, or nobody knows when they are going. Nobody knows what they are doing, and at the end of the day, we begin to have problems. So, which one is it? Are they the same thing?
Okay, what is true is that Fulani have always moved across the bush. That is Fulani. Fulani have always moved with their cow across the bush. They don't rent houses. How come you don't know this stuff?
No. It's you guys who are refused to come to the understand that we are no longer in the 60s. We are no longer in the 50s.
That is what you need to accept it first. That has been their modulus operandus.
Na lie. Listen, let me tell you something. AY. When you were growing up, you couldn't ask your father. You couldn't ask questions to your father, can you? You cannot argue with your father, can you? Were you able to argue with your father when he speaks to you?
No.
Do you used to ask your father why? Don't your children now ask you why when you give them instruction?
Okay, hold on. Let me take this time. See, let me take this. KJ, people move all the time. As a matter of fact, you can even see movement from people in the southeast into the south. They move all the time, and then what they tend to do is that the behavior is not that different, really, when you think about it. When they move to an area, they will be fewer in population at first. The moment they get a threshold population that they can use to dominate the area, they expand quite quickly and take over the territory. And you see the same behavior in the north. And as a matter of fact, if you look at Nigeria, the southeast is trending south too. And they're also trending north. Like you said, a lot of people say that there's a lot of southeasterners in the north, but they are also trending southwards. So the idea that it's only them that are flowing, it's not necessarily just because you're in city doesn't mean that you are not. As a matter of fact, it may be more consequential that you're actually in the city and in larger numbers. If you look at the numbers of Southeasterners that has moved, they moved in larger numbers than Fulanis have moved. The issue of corruption is, for me, the issue of killing people is a big problem. You can't just be killing people. Southeasterners are not going about killing people everywhere. And that's a big problem. And the issue of political alienation of a large group in the north of Nigeria that can lead to instability is a problem. I see that as a security problem for a nation, because if one tiny group is dominating it, it can lead to instability. And that is what he came on this platform earlier on to actually attest to, that he is hearing Hausa people online talking about what they want to do to Fulanis. That is serious stuff.
Forefather, to buttress to what you said, that was what caused the war in Ethiopia. the minority were dominating Ethiopia, the political space for long. That was what the war you saw in Ethiopia that was going on. That was the reason. Go and confirm, investigate it. So what you said now is so true, because even with this state, I have always canvassed, even with this state, share power within 3 senatorial districts, learn to retreat power and more. Let everybody get involved. That is how to run a country, a state, whatever. Otherwise, you got to have a lot of enemy, more creating more enemy across board. Even in the area of power sharing, make sure
I'm going to say this,
balance
and this is my last
of
contribution
power
on this.
sharing.
I'm going
That
to
will
say
help
this.
to unite the country. Like Nigeria, the way
Forefather,
we are set up. That's
I
what is
beg your
causing part
pardon.
of our problem.
I want to say this,
Yeah,
and that
go
will be my
ahead.
last. That will be my last comment on this issue, because I don't think we're going to change, and you're probably not going to ever understand.
KJ,
No
KJ,
Nigerian,
your
no
piece.
Nigerian is saying that Nigerians should not move. No Nigerian is saying that Fulanis and Hausas should not go to the east or the west or the south. By the way, if you go back in history, you'll find out that almost every state, every town in the south had a place they call Amawusa. It was in Calabar. It was in every other place. In fact, the Calabar one, it was Donald Duke who changed them, because they used to be at the center of Calabar, and place became so dirty when he was governor. He started to relocate them, and that place was put up. In Abia, there is a place called Almausa. It's there in Umuahia. Okigwe, if you are traveling to the east, you must have passed Okigwe, where you have Amausa. So we have always had locations where the Hausa people do their business. They come, sit, and do their business, because they're not going to develop the place. They all build their bachas, sell their cows, and go back with their money. Nobody is contesting that, and nobody has refused that. But the one that you now come to my village, and you want to live in our farms, and our women will not go to farm and cannot go to farm, and our children or our men will keep getting missing in the process of going to their farms. That is the one that everybody does not want. Nobody is saying that you cannot do your trade, you cannot bring your cows, you cannot continuously to practice trade the way you were practicing it before Usman Dan Fodio came to Nigeria. We cannot have that, and we will not have that. So if anybody is thinking that Nigeria is going to be continuously to have people carrying cows walking along our streets, okay, you can do that in the north if that's how people want to live. But the east will not have that. It's as simple and short. Okay? If another person, if people like to have cows roaming around, your cities, polluting everywhere, it's okay if that's what you want to have. You can have.
Why
it.
are you hating on the cows? You are supposed to be hating on the killings. Stop hating on cows.
No. See,
cows are not the
hold
problem.
On. Hold
the
on.
killings are the problem.
Hold on now, poor father. You see, let me speak.
You're making this about cows,
and I'll leave you. The cows are what is used as yardstick for the killings. Remember, they don't work with their god. It is the cow that is used as the masquerade to carry those things, and that these actions are done. Because when you see them in the forest, they say it's because of their cows they're in the forest. Nobody says, "Oh, we are here now in the forest." You also know that these things have been going on. We are not against any Nigerian moving anywhere. Okay? It's only by movement that we make commerce and money will be produced. It's not by sitting in one place. So nobody can say don't move with your goods. But
come on, man. I think we like to.
I give up. I'm not saying anything.
Can I say something? Can I say something?
But we are not comfortable with other people because we are not them.
Can I say something?
Welcome, man.
Sorry,
Hey, please.
You are going wrong, though.
Go ahead, Mr. Ike.
We want to go to. I will be going to another topic soon, so that we just.
We need to move to.
Listen,
this is not our topic.
I just want
KJ,
to.
don't go. That you're Donald Trump. You need to explain the economy.
I just want to give us an example. All of us that are in this platform has migrated to another people's country.
Mm-hmm.
You are not living in Nigeria, are you?
Exactly.
We have migrated to different parts of the world.
Except me.
I'm making a statement.
Every one of us here has migrated to somewhere to live. And even if you live in London, living in the city of London, forefathers, you can decide to migrate to Liverpool tomorrow. Nobody is going to stop you from migrating to Liverpool. True or false? If you want to migrate to Manchester City, nobody is going to stop you from migrating from Liverpool to Manchester City, because you are following the rules. And wherever you migrate, you pay house rent, you pay electricity bill, you pay your internet, you pay whatever tax that is meant to be paid in order for the city and the people to be developed. Nobody is asking you, where are you coming from, or why do you have to migrate? So for us to begin to give for somebody, I mean, Nigerians at times, I don't know how somebody can begin to defend that somebody decided to migrate from one place to another place. He went to live in the desert, not where people live. Not only that you have gone to a place that belongs to somebody where they do farming, but you take over that place. You build your shanties, you bear your children, and you rear your cows by destroying the livelihood of the people that owns the land. You are not paying anything to nobody. And you are allowed to carry AK-47 moving. The only people in the planet Earth of Nigeria that are allowed to carry AK-47 to move around wherever they move. But I cannot move AK-47. And I cannot defend myself. Nobody has ever stopped anybody from Nigeria moving from one place to another. When I move, when you move, you rent a house. If you begin to rent a house, you have a place of business. When your business begins to expand, because it's Nigeria, you are allowed to build your house. You are allowed to do whatever you want to do, provided you are following the rules of the law. So for you, forefather, to say the Igbos are migrating, and when they migrate, they dominate. What are you talking about? You do not stop anybody from moving to wherever they want to move in Nigeria. That's our country. Does it belong to one particular people? If you feel that you're uncomfortable yourself, you can move to anywhere in Nigeria to live, to build a house, bear your children. Because why is it like that? That makes us why we are Nigeria. Because anywhere you go, you're supposed to be your home. So for somebody that comes to my village to take over where my family go to do their farm during the farming season, and took over everything and stay with AK-47, every plant that is planted are uprooted for the cows to eat. Like AJ said, cow is used as an instrument of the killing. Because when they are stopped from eating the cassavas and the yams and the plantains of the people, they use their AK-47 to kill people. I don't know why each and every one of us here are making this argument as if we are coming from each and every one of us has migrated from somewhere to somewhere. So what is the big deal of migrating? You don't live in Nigeria. You live in London. KJ live in the US. I live in the island of Bonaire. Is it my country? But I have a house. I've multiplied. I have a family. I live my life. I do what every other person is doing legally. And
but that is my point. People are allowed to migrate, and when you start picking and choosing after they migrate what they do, then you are missing the point.
No.
If you want to hear your
you're getting it wrong.
Wait, that is always has been your problem. You
the Fulani are bullying every other Nigerian.
If a Fulani man want to rear a cow in my village, all he need to do is to ask for land. If he's given the land, he pay for the land and he rear his cow.
As simple as that.
It's simple.
But that's not how they rear their cow. Now you know that.
What?
Their cow migratory man, and they don't.
Through Nigeria, we are being bullied in that country by the Fulani. That one is obvious.
Dishonest and deceitful.
I think no. I'm not necessarily being that way.
Because I don't say that they should not give the Fulani land to do that.
That was fighting.
But you have to buy the land.
Nigerians don't like to be called out on their BS.
You have to ask for the land.
They don't like to be called out. Because
Fofana was fighting with Fulani man.
you want to say, okay, instead of you to focus on the real issue, which is the killing. If the killing is not there, the issue goes away.
What brought about the killing?
It's the same. It's one issue that leads to one.
What is the issue? What is the issue, forefathers? What call it a name? What is the issue?
Currently, is the
bullying
that they believe that people are stealing their cows and
No.
they fight back.
No,
That
that
is
is
not
not it.
No,
That is not the point.
Forefather, you're not constant, though. You're not constant. What's going on?
You guys want to see that attitude? They don't want to. They don't want to.
It's not true. It's not true.
You know what? You know what is annoying people right now. You know what is annoying
It's becoming too much for them. It's too much. We should just go our separate ways.
Only thing that is annoying everybody right now because I said Southeasterners migrate too.
Forefathers,
Is that we all migrate.
the Uromi experience is just teaching them a small lesson of what it's going to look like when they continue with the shit.
Isn't that the killing? The killing is
they've always been taking us for granted, and this time they think that they have the monopoly of violence or something. I don't understand that you'll be carrying an AK-47 to a Malak who does not speak English.
Let's get something straight. If this was a class, we have to come out with a reasonable conclusion of what the real issue is. The real issue is the killing, because before now, Fulanis have been doing this before and we didn't have any issues with them. A lot of people have testified on this panel that they used to be happy when they see Fulanis in the bushes and all the rest. The killing is the issue. It needs to stop. Why are we turning that to
Is it the Islamization agenda that you are looking at? Or you are looking at some people want to be majority in the country that they are 6%? Or you are looking at the fact that it's not about cow. Cows does not come in.
First, you have
it's not about cow at all. The cow does not come in here. The cow is just a symbol of the reason why we are moving. But that was not the reason. That's not the reason. This Islamization agenda might be closer to why the killings are happening. Because why are you killing and taking over locations and communities? Why? Why? If you don't have an agenda.
Nigeria is getting harder, and when people see a whole cow, you can see how and somebody land that nobody is there to protect them. The Nigerian government is not exactly protecting the farmers when cows eat their harvest. So all those things is leading to tensions. And the government is quite irresponsible, really.
Forefather, let me ask you something. Forefather.
There is none of us who is here in this platform who has a property outside your family property land that you did not buy.
Correct.
There is no single person here who is making this argument here that you have a property anywhere in Nigeria that is not your family land that you did not buy. Nobody.
Yes.
Where I live here, before I get my land to build my house, it took 6 months. So everybody that is living anywhere that you use your money to buy a property, you must buy. You don't see, you don't confiscate, you don't take by force because it does not belong to you. Simple.
Correct.
I agree with that. That is not the issue we are having here. The issue we are having is the killing. They are going about killing people left and right because for whatever reason. And that needs to stop. If we stop that one, then we can deal with the political issue and we can deal with the Islamization. Maybe all of them at the same time. There are 3 layers. The Fulanis now have 3 problems.
Some of us are here. We've been here, and you people are just.
Hold on. Let me check your mic. Don't mute it. Let me just check something. Okay, say something, please. Say something, Tony.
Me?
Yeah, Tony.
Yeah, I'm here. Yes,
the
can you hear me?
away. Yeah, I can hear you better now, but you are delayed, slightly delayed, a few seconds delayed. But go ahead if you want to say something.
Okay, I have been listening. I was in the first previous program, and I just didn't. I had to switch off at some point because I just didn't. I just didn't want to ask any question. But here, I think there's a line. You see, there are 3 types of Fulanis. There are the town Fulanis who are settled, more of the elitist people. And then there are semi-nomadic Fulanis. They live in settled places. Once in a while, they move on. They go to another place, they settle, depending on, circumstances of their, around their environment where they're living. And then there are the pastoralists who are always on the move. And they are working essentially for those, the town Fulanis. Okay, so all of them, if you
You have to go and come back. I think Obey hasn't finished speaking. Dexter hasn't said
Not mind there. They are chasing me out.
and Jide definitely hasn't said anything. I think we have to just allow the people that haven't said anything to say something. Then we'll move on to the other topics that we have to cover. Obey, finish what you are saying. Then Dexter.
Well, in my candid opinion, I think we have the rate at which we are declining is just on the increase every day, based on this resolution. If a marriage does not work, everybody will go their way, and there will still be progress along that line. I told us last year when I went on a Europe tour that the distance between Italy and Switzerland and all the neighboring France and all that is just like you're crossing from one state of America to another state. That is a country for you. So we don't actually need to remain where we are when we know that the marriage is not working, and we keep talking around it. These people have a different ideology about life, and we are forcing ourselves to fuse with these people that we are having a distinct ideology with. So we keep conflicting at the end of the day. You understand? Could you imagine an Uromi location, a small town in Edo? These people came and they were searched and they couldn't defend what they are, and they stabbed somebody and there was an altercation, and at the end of the day, something happened. It's raising an eyebrow in the whole world as if it is the first 50 people that are dying in this war. When they hear 60 die, they don't talk. When they hear 100 die, they don't talk. Even the president have not made a statement. Now, 50 people died. And it's now raising an eyebrow. And my governor, AY's friend, had to carry an entourage from Benin to Kano to go and start speaking outside. I don't know where he learned it from. And go and start talking about.
You say your performing governor. That's what you say.
Performing governor. Wait, they buy bus, they do flyover as an achievement. Buy bus for Edo line. That one be performing governor. We have passed that generation of running Edo line transport as an achievement for the government. Leave that thing. I say he had to come down to that level to go and start meeting his fellow governor to go and commemorate. People that have been dying in your own town, how many have come to you to come and say sorry for your death? It just shows that we are being bullied. We are now lesser Nigerian than them. That's what we are. Lesser Nigerian. That means they cut the short here. The governor had to leave this location and carry an entourage. Oh my God! Really? To go and tell him sorry for what?
Because his own death was more better than his own death that was so good. Obey, he wants to maintain peace and stability.
Oh my God! Oh, where is that done? You think if you are governor of Edo State, will you do it? Hey, why? Will you do it? If you're an educated man like you, you carry motor, they go greet one fellow governor, tell and say sorry when your own debt is more than 1,000, and nobody has come to commemorate with you. I'm telling you, I'm trying to show an angle of bullying, an angle of making some people special, making some people a more Nigerian than the other. That is my pain. That is my pain, because we just different people. We just different ideas.
But Obey, is it possible that you could be misreading it from the point of view that you're attaching it to a race when it's just a member of that tribe or group of that tribe that is causing all this problems? It's like Boko Haram now is doing something. It doesn't mean it's the entire Hausa population.
James told you that when we terrorized the enemy, a Benin man came as a police inspector and we killed him in Benin there. We killed him, we hanged him, we shot him at the firing spot. If
because
they can't do that,
enemy was going after were Delta people.
If they can't do that,
after Edo and Delta people. No, enemy was going after people there. It's a bit of a different thing.
Do you know the problem? The elites and the government that is behind these people have never condemned them one day. That is the problem. They've
Yeah, I
never
agree
seen
with you
anything
on
wrong
that.
with
They
what
are
they're
not
doing.
condemning him enough. They are not condemning him
That
enough.
is the reason why they have the impetus and they have the
That's a
mobilization
problem.
and the strength
Nigerian leaders
to
are
do.
horrible like that.
And that is why they are doing wrong because they are not being despised at home. They've been accepted as in they are doing well. They are protecting their cows. What has cow got to do with 1847, my brother? What has cow got
How
to
many
do with
people have you seen?
1847?
I don't know. Has anybody seen Tinubu condemn MC Oluomo for what he said? And from all the people that were,
That
all
has
the
a branch in
Southeasterners
Benin
that were
now.
attacked in Lagos, did you see?
Politicians don't
Exactly.
condemn
So,
their
see,
people.
Nigerians, they have a very,
They
our
don't.
leaders have a very terrible habit of not saying the right things
It's
when there is
politicians. It's
crisis.
politicians.
They are
They will not
Because
awful
do that.
people at that.
he believed that in the second term he's going to need him, so he's not condemning him yet. That's why they're keeping. Why
Wow.
is he keeping Wike? Because he knew Wike was for the purpose. That's why he's keeping him. If they are done with him now, they will do what they do to El Rufai to him now, straight up.
It's sad.
You know, because he needs
We
them.
have a
That's why
leadership
he's keeping
problem.
them.
We have a leadership problem. I don't think it's necessarily
Right.
a tribal
No, it's
problem. It's a leadership
politician.
problem.
Again, if I tell you politicians are the same now, then you fight me. They are
I'll
like
fight
that.
you. Don't start now. Don't start
Politicians are
now.
like that. That's the way they
Don't
are.
start with
It's the
that
honest truth.
again. Dexter.
It doesn't make it right.
Let's
It's too
bring in
much.
Dexter. Dexter, it's a shame. Dexter didn't get a chance to say too much today about the guy. So please, let's not interrupt Dexter and G. So that we can, Oga James, you want to
Me,
say
Uka.
something so that we can allow James?
Yeah, yeah, please, I
Oh, he
want to
wants to
go
leave. Oh, he
home.
wants to leave.
I
Yeah.
want to go home. You see, the conclusion of the matter is this. The government of the day, their social-cultural organizations and what have you should call them to order. Because people are really worried for one reason. I remember when I was living in Benin City, even here in the Gambia where I live, there are very many different kinds of snakes all over the place. And very bitter experiences taught us that not all of them are dangerous. Actually, majority of the snakes are harmless. But that does not mean that when you see a snake in your compound, you start petting it. It doesn't work like that. They get rid of them as quickly as possible. They have placed themselves in a position whereby people see them as snakes. You can't say
Harmless.
who is harmless or who is harmful. I mean, just like playing with a snake, that is why people are so frightened when this matter is being discussed. It is the duty of their leaders to call them to order. As I said earlier on, it was very sad when I was living in Benin City, when Kingsley Eweka was executed by firing squad at Ikobahir. The palace washed their hands off the guy. He's a member of the ruling class in Benin City. What is wrong if the Fulanis call their boys to order? So there's something certainly behind what is going on. And I mean, as I always say on this program, breaking up a country is nothing new. It has happened in Ethiopia. Eritrea broke away from it. In India, the Pakistanis broke away. In Pakistan, Bangladesh broke away. The Ottoman Empire collapsed and East European countries emerged from the Versailles Treaty of 1919, Bosnia and Herzegovina, and so many other examples. If we cannot live together, we should not perish together. This is how I see it. So let us just hope that the ruling class will wake up to their responsibility, but I am terribly in doubt if it will ever happen. Thank you all very much indeed for being with you.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you for thanking me.
Nice one. Nice one. Dexter, please go ahead. What do you make of the conversation with our Fulani brother? In the end, he's our brother. He's very much our brother. He's KJ's brother. KJ has got Fulani relatives everywhere. So, so go ahead, Dexter. What do you make of the conversation?
Well, I think conversations are always good. It might not go as we want it. So, everybody has polarized with different opinions. So, but it's always good to have a conversation, and I think that's the starting point. So, yeah, the conversation is good. The other part is, I think we need to be ready to evolve, as Nigerians, because I think it's always stupidity if you're doing something and it's not working and you keep on doing it 100 times, 500 times. So I think we need to be ready to evolve. And another thing is that I think some of us kind of try to deceive ourselves really, because when they say this Nigeria not working, um, I hear some proponents of, oh, we must be one indivisible entity. It's actually, I think, born out of fear of some people that if we actually allow Nigeria to in quotes, to be separated or regionalized, there's this fear among some certain groups that a particular section of Nigeria will become far advanced than another side. And one side will be in pure poverty, and another side will be in opulent wealth. I think that's the reality. And it's happening actually among people here. That's why you have this people of no, we cannot divide, we have to be one. So let all of us stay together and we drag. If we cannot, since we cannot run fast, you too will not run fast. And I think that is one of the things that killed Nigeria. Even in the UK, like forefathers, they are in the UK. Tony Blair is the one that factionalized the UK in 2000 when he allowed Scotland, Wales, to be their own countries for themselves. They don't control anything on maybe things like defense, immigration, and all that. But their education and other things, they control it. Health, they control it for themselves. So we have got to that point where in Nigeria, it's not so, because telling this story of it's a Fulani thing, no, it has not helped anybody. And maybe we should start looking back. Maybe Nigeria had an opportunity in the time of the Civil War to make progress, but because people were so myopic about it, people were so myopic, and it was out of greed. Let us not deceive ourselves. The reason why Nigeria fought that Civil War was out of greed from people that felt that this place has the resources, and it is there till today. You can still see it relatively there till today, because 90% of the resources in Nigeria come from a particular section, and it has made sure that other sections of the country have not developed. Other sections of the country have not harnessed themselves to be able to make themselves productive. You can see it in Tinubu sending an administrator to River State. In what words? What was the word? Tinubu is a Southerner, don't forget to. But if you listen to Bayanonoga, that is where our patrimony. Whose patrimony? It's not the patrimony of the Calabari man. It's the patrimony of everybody. Meanwhile, the Calabari man doesn't have drinking water in his house to drink. He doesn't have drinking water, but you that is saying it's your patrimony, you're flying private jet. That's why I say this fear is not just it's not about northern fear. It's fear among some even quote elites in Nigeria, because all they're interested in is sucking the resources. And imagine if tomorrow there is no more oil flowing from the Niger Delta in Bayelsa. That place will be habitable. Will people be able to live there? Will anybody be able to live there? Nobody will be able to live there. No development, nothing. Those people are going to lose out, completely lose out. Unfortunately, they are doing themselves too, because they were still the same ones when there was a war. They were thinking that, they were fighting for a good cause. Some of them sold out. They sold out. But that is the reality of Nigeria, of what it is, So maybe it is time, it is time for Nigeria to start thinking, maybe for the country to make progress. Everybody has to start thinking now, maybe it's a time, maybe like the British model, let every region manage their resources. Because imagine if today there is
Why don't you say state? Why do you always have to say region? We have states.
Well, to stop saying states, because states were created for division. Forefathers, the states were
no.
Wait, forefathers, the states were not made by the people. The states
The regions were made by the people, and the region. Who created regions?
No, hold on. How many regions do you want to put Nigeria? How many regions do you want to create?
I'm not interested in how many regions. States
states were created by military administrators without the consent of the people.
I think what you see, the thing about region is that region doesn't take. Okay, are you talking about the 6 geopolitical regions?
See, whatever
Yes, now that's what he's talking about.
No, okay. Are you not
following?
That's not what he's
when
talking
he says
about.
region, I'm thinking he's talking about the 3 regions.
See, let me tell you another thing. When people when there is a fear, once you see an apprehension of people afraid of,
This is I want to be in the same state with the forefathers.
whether it's 3 political.
I can't be the same region with forefathers though. That's what I'm to avoid. But you cannot be without me.
This thing I'm talking about.
I can't be with them region with you.
What's wrong with you?
You want to create a Nigeria that is not geopolitical zone.
When they say the three regions, the first thing that comes to the people's mind is that the Igbos want to carry the richest part of Nigeria.
That's our forefather. That's what forefather is saying. That's what forefather was heading to. That's what he's heading to. Someone did his corridor. Because
why don't you just say state there?
Of the problem this country has.
Then why don't you just say state?
This is the cost of
hold on. Why don't you just say state?
By military administrators without the consent of the people.
So you mean after democracy has been there for 25 years, it's still military people?
Forefathers, are you aware? Do you know who?
Let's answer to be. Let's start is be. Let not waste be. Let's answer be on their own and control their resources.
You are speaking for him. He's not talking about this geopolitical zone. He wants to go back to
I want to help him. I want to help him. That I want to help him.
Don't help him. You know what he's saying. And after we say Fulanis have agenda.
I'm the next.
Yeah, you are the next.
I will only speak for 1 minute.
You know who campaigned?
Let's answer tomorrow.
I still have the floor. Who campaigned?
Don't worry, Jide is my guy. You think it's like you?
Look at that. We have to go to another topic before we finish the whole thing with this topic.
It was Michael Okpara. Those were the backers of the Midwestern region. What you call Midwestern region today. Back then, it was Michael Okpara that was the backer of the Midwestern region. My point is this. It has to be the people. The people have to decide what they want, not the one. Like
Dexter. Okay, let's slow down. Dexter, slow down. Let me just ask you one question. Yeah. Are you talking about the 6 geopolitical zones?
No, I'm not talking about. I'm talking about
the one where the South.
No,
which one are you talking about?
I'm talking about the one that it was the people that decided. When Nigeria
I don't want that with I don't want that one. No, Makapara type. I don't think I someone like why. Yeah, they and the region. Within their mindset, no way. They will send me back. They will send me back. No. South is B. South is B. I don't agree. No, I call the shot the region.
No, there's no sharing of region.
Look at that.
I
don't want to be the same country say why and they suffer again. No, I don't. They don't.
Let me ask you a question. Let me tell you. Don't disabuse your mind. Let me tell you why you should disabuse your mind. Nigeria can have a referendum tomorrow. That southeast they are talking about. Kogi State can say we don't want to be in the north. We want to be in southeast region. What will you do? Will you say no? If they vote,
they will say they want to be their own country.
No. Well, what would you say? So the point is this.
Why do you always I think hold on, Dexter. You seem to always think that people want to glue on to the southeast. Why don't you just say they want to be on their own?
See,
what we say south is going to come up for your mouth, father.
Because if
not when they want you, the first one is that people like to bring up. You cannot say someone without putting southeast and you the person on it. Why is it? Why is it so?
One attaching people to southeast.
Are you? No, I was watching you. You can't say 10 things without adding southeast or Igbo man on it.
The point is,
why is it?
I won't come be solitary with me. Lie. You don't see them solitary with me. Lie.
Forefathers, what we find out is look at them.
What kind of attitude is that? You always want to attach people to the southeast.
Unfortunately, we are
going today. Southeast is not set by day.
Unfortunately, we have been constrained by the idea of some men. Some men came up in Nigeria and drew map and said this is southeast, and the people just agreed. Are we stupid people? Somebody just came up.
So you want the South to join
the British went to India and drew a map. This is Kashmir. This is Pakistan. And the people just like, are we stupid people?
No. Dexter.
In short, Dexter. I want to be calling East now. No more South on my side.
Why you?
Let me go easy. That's how to start.
Why you trying to rescue him?
The point I'm trying
Why
to
you trying to
make.
rescue him?
East. I want to East.
The point I'm trying
Jester,
to make.
Jester, if I were you, I'd just keep quiet because you're not going to convince anyone.
I'm not convincing anybody. I'm not convincing anybody.
And let me tell you something. You know,
God,
the man called Chine Achebe was very correct when he said the only thing that brings Nigerian unity is when it has to do with an Igbo man. Forefather is not concerned with those who are stealing the oil in his state.
I'm not concerned now.
He's not concerned about those who are taking over their forests, raping their women, and killing their young
Who state Forefather come from when they talk?
But he's concerned.
Fulani now. They don't come for Fulani. APC. Ebuka man. Father, you don't answer name for this platform. So many names.
Oh my God. But why do they like this regional system so much?
Let me go.
Why do people like this regional system so much that gave us a civil war? Why do you like such a system that is so terrible, that give us a terrible result? But that said, let have it say, please help us. Try. I know it's not fair on you, but try to keep it brief.
Let me ask this question, if you don't mind. Let me ask.
We don't have the time. West. Let's just divide it. Everybody go.
Hold on. Let me ask Forefather this question. Do you think it is right for the governor or the northern elders and the governor of Kano State to get up and give your governor an ultimatum on what to do with those who he accused to be guilty, and then how he must respond? And then the northern elders coming out to say, if this is not done for them
within a time frame,
within a particular time frame, to their own concern, what they want, Nigeria will no longer exist. But you hold on, sir. Hold on. I'll ask you a question. When I finish, you can say whatever you want to say. Now, you taking countdown from when this killing started. We know that we have lost over 10,000 people in the south. No governor have given ultimatum. No governor have been able to stand. Your elders have not been able to take a stand. And you think it's a fair place. It's a fair play in Nigeria, and we are operating from the same constitution. That's for you, Forefather.
Forefather, let me add this.
Whenever people ask me questions,
they're going to add.
Let me answer the question directly. The Northerners themselves have lost their rulers, and all kinds of people have been killed in the north. This is a phenomenon that comes from the north, and it's affecting them and the entire Nigeria. When you try to separate it, that's when you are missing the nature of the phenomenon. It's affecting the north as much as it's affecting the south. That said, the question you asked about the leaders putting ultimatum on the southern leaders, is it fair? No, it's not, because the southern leaders are not putting ultimatum on them after their problem come from the north and affect the southerners. It's not fair. However, the question you have to ask yourself is, if they didn't do that, the consequence of that action, would it not be worse? The other day, last week, I was saying that if somebody had decided to bite their tongue in 1966, millions of lives would have been saved. And that is what I see. If our leaders decide that, you know what, better to have peace than have this nonsense. If I need to go and talk to them, that's what you as a leader is there for, to protect your people from instability, so that your people can have time to build and develop. I think anything that can lead to peace is a good thing.
But I think you're wrong. And let me tell you something. I'm giving an example of growing up.
KJ, no, KJ. Hold on. Let's allow KJ. No, KJ, it's not fair. KJ, let me moderate this one. Let me moderate this one. No, I'm not the one I want to talk. Jide, please go ahead so that we can move on to other topics, please. Because it's going to be over soon.
Yeah, thank
we
you
don't
so
have
much.
enough time.
Yeah, thank you so much, Forefathers. Yeah, thank you so much, Forefathers. Yeah, I hope no one is going to interrupt me, please. I have a lot to say about this issue of headsmen.
I just beg you, make you not say a lot. Now
you come and say guest. You come and say guest.
Let me talk.
Maybe they listen to you.
Let me talk, please. Let me talk. I'm not going to spend 1 hour. I don't take too long. Yeah, so as I was saying, so the issue with the ethnic and terrorist crisis and land conflicts going on in Nigeria, in the southern part of Nigeria and the Middle Belt, we need to look at the historical context of what's going on with the Fulanis. First of all, I don't like calling them Fulani headsmen, because not all Fulanis are terrorists. We should not be labeling specific ethnic groups as terrorists. It is very dangerous.
Here is this one go again. Hey, let me get out.
It is very dangerous. It is annoying. I know.
It's the right thing to do, KJ. Come on. If they start enabling every Southeastern and what kind of name, you're not gonna like it.
I understand that.
Or did they not the Niger Delta terrorists?
No, they didn't. You see, but that's what he's saying.
KJ, he's saying the right thing, though. Don't let somebody tell us one person.
I understand that some of us are very emotional, maybe due to trauma or due to whatever. A lot of us are very emotional. But we have to call a spade and talk about what is actually the cause of this crisis. We need to look at the historical context. Nigeria was created by the British, not by our ancestors, not by our forefathers. Nigeria was created by the British. We all know that. That's number one. Number two, the Fulanis have a huge influence in Nigeria. The Fulani elites, they have a huge political influence in Nigeria, even more than what we have in the South. You know the reason why? Because that was the way it was designed by the British, and the British actually gave them that power. And that is why I'm very surprised that people are not coming from that direction. If you look at when Nigeria was being colonized, we had a military faction called the West African Frontier Force. Majority of those military were Fulanis. The British, when they were trying to understand the continent of Africa, they saw that the Fulani people, they were organized militarily, because before they came to conquer, they got to try to understand the cultural and social political context of where they were trying to conquer. They saw the Fulani as a heavily centralized military force that they can use to exploit so that they can continue to dominate even when they leave. And that was what the West African Frontier Force also kind of played. That was kind of the part it played, because the West African Frontier Force, the members of the West African Frontier Force, majority were Fulanis. And they played a role in the colonization of what we have as Nigeria. The descendants of those members of West African Frontier Force are now the ones running Nigeria till this day. Buhari was a military man. We should not forget. A lot of Northerners were in the military. This was created by the British. Because if we are blaming different tribes for this problem, we are not understanding the big picture. This was created. We are just talking about. It's just like
but is that not a little bit simplistic when there was a lot of Southeasterners in the military?
Yeah, there were a lot of Southeasterners, but mind you, to put this into context, those Southeasterners, they chose to come to the military, like Ojukwu and some other few people. Their own case was different. A lot of people that were actually enlisted. That was why I said majority. There were some Yoruba people that were also part of the military, right? But majority of them were for Fulanis and some Hausas, right? But from the north, the British understood what they were doing so that they could continue to reconsolidate their power.
Were they the majority? I'm not exactly very sure about that, actually.
The Northerners were the majority.
Officers were Southeasterners.
The Northerners were the majority.
Were they?
Yes.
South is no come up for your mouth. There are majority in terms of other rank, but in officers, like the heavy officers, the Southerners.
I don't, Uzo, your trouble.
Because you know they make me best. He tell you that the Northern was the majority in terms of the military. But the main officer, like the generals, the Easterners, that was
exactly.
But the military architecture was Northerners.
I'm talking about the numbers. I'm not talking about
the numbers.
Uzo is right. Uzo is right.
The military.
The numbers is Northerners.
I'm going somewhere with this.
Calm down. I just wanted to gather. And is it like 20, 80% or 40, 60% we are
From the
talking
books
about?
I've read, they were over 50%. And that's a majority.
The northern ones.
The northern, yes.
Okay.
They were over 50%. That from the books I've read about
and I believe, man, in Nigeria, not Igbos, say the Midwest. The Midwest officers, they have top officers. The Midwest, not everything Southeast.
Yes.
The Midwest, not Southeast.
Yeah, but Ojukwu is
the Midwest compared to no, say Midwest because Midwest, not Southeast. Some Delta officers was there, Calabar was there. They are all calculated on the Midwest. So don't just say
About like
Southeast.
Edo
Yeah.
and okay, that's what you mean by Midwest.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're all Midwest. The former Midwest. To the time of
No, Calabar was
back
not
in
Midwest. Calabar was not
Calabar
Midwest.
was.
So as I was saying, right?
Calabar was where?
So as I
Calabar
was
was
saying,
not Midwest now.
was
so as
East.
I was
Calabar was
saying,
where?
Was part of
was
Eastern Bloc.
Calabar was Biafra.
as I was saying, the colonial structure that we have at that time is still in place up to this day. That's why the Fulani elites, they still have a huge political influence in northern Nigeria. In fact, prior to the so-called independence that we got in 1960, the British realized that the Southerners were getting away.
Check it out.
The Southerners were getting away. So they needed to consolidate their power by giving the northern elites the power to the huge influence that Nigeria has today. Why am I talking about that? I'm talking about that because we need to see the big picture instead of blaming different tribes. It is the Fulanis, it is the Midway, it is the Igbo. We need to stop this. It is very petty, in my opinion, because it's like here in America. We're in America, right? This is America now. Imagine if a black person commits a crime, and in the media they said black criminals. They keep naming black people as black criminals. How would that sound? Is that not racist? That's racist. So why are we doing that to our fellow brothers and sisters? I mean, these Fulani people, they are very poor. They are very, very poor. They're not even rich. I've met some Fulani people even in this America. They're some of the nicest people. In fact, some of these Fulani people are even more nice than Yoruba people. We need to be very careful.
Where you meet that Mago? Where you meet the Fulani person? I'm not saying Fulani person.
I've met the Fulani.
Uzo, where are you
No,
hanging
for real,
out?
now, I've never seen. Even I was in America. Yeah, I said me. I never see. I don't say I see. I never see.
You see, we need to be very careful when we label all this thing from a tribal perspective, because that's what the oppressors, that's what the British, that's what they want.
Let's
people,
let's change
that's
the
what they
topic.
want.
Judeu is okay. Let's change the topic.
Okay, I'll stop.
There are two Nigeria. I want to say something about this.
We want to move on from this.
No, let me say something. Let me say something first. Let me say something.
We have to move on. You're not going to.
No, but I want to say something.
If you want to say something, I'm going to stop you in 1 minute sharp.
You can't stop me. We can't stop in 1 minute.
You're not going to say something.
No, let me say so. I want to comment on this.
From the topic. No, you can't do that. We have a schedule that we have to try to meet. We've already pushed it. I'm sorry.
Let me say something now. Let me say something.
What I'm saying cannot be enough. Let me say something.
But you need to stop it.
Let me say something now. Everyone have the right to speak. Before you move, let me be the last person. Let me be the last person.
We can't. We are not
Let
going
me be the last person.
do that. No. We have to move on. We can't do that.
You know what? Give me
3 minutes. Give me 3 minutes.
Share the car to Niger. God, I bless you. Share the car to
1 minute. We are done.
To Niger. You see, let me tell you.
Now. You see, now if you talk. Maska is going to come in and talk about the same topic. We are not going to get out of this. And
let him be the last. Everybody have said something. Let him be the last. He has not said anything. Let him be the last person.
He would have been gone by now.
Uzo is a troublemaker.
Let him follow share for the banner. Make him talk. Make him share his own banner.
Maska will talk. It's not going to work.
No. Let him be the last person.
Here talking about this topic.
Let him be the last person now, so we can.
Help me now and again.
I beg you, Okay. You are in charge.
I want to say tonight. Let me say something, please. Give me time. Let me say something.
Maska is going to say something. Look at him now.
My brother, leave me. Maska, I don't care about Maska. What do you have anything to do with Maska?
I want to change the topic. Okay.
Leave Maska alone.
I could have finished what I'm saying. Why you do like this?
Why do you want to change the topic?
1 minute each person.
Tonight, let me tell you. Every time you come here to Niger, you said the Northerners are dying. The Northerners are dying. No Southerner goes and kill the Fulanis. None. No Southerner goes and kill the Fulanis. Only the Fulanis coming to kill Southerners. That is one. Two. When Southerners, when this terrorism in the south or even anywhere, the Southerners condemns it, but the Northerners doesn't condemn what their people are doing. That is true. Buhari, when Jonathan was ruling, Buhari
Buhari said anybody who killed the Boko Haram are creating war against are killing the Northerners. But these are terrorists. He never condemned it. Rufai is the one who said they want to bring these terrorists to come for their farms and all the rest before the election. It was what Rufai said.
Rufai of Arise TV?
No, Rufai.
Rufai.
Yes, I saw the interview. He said
1 minute
he
is
went
gone.
to beg them.
Yeah, 1 minute is gone. Thank
no,
you.
I didn't. Let me finish. My didn't go.
Well, you made a good point. I really appreciate you.
Now,
you.
No, let me want to say
you see what I'm telling you? Very good point.
He made a good
he
point.
He said from everywhere. It's also Nigerian. It's a world people. So, my brother, let's stop saying this thing you used to say every time that the Northerners are dying. Northerners are dying. Northerners are killing the Northerners. They're not. Southerners are killing the Northerners.
I take your point. That's a fair point to make. Masker. Let's allow Masker 1 minute, please.
No. There's no way Master to talk because she said it's already you are going another way. You see, you are tribalistic or what? I don't know.
No, you said 1 minute. Now that's it. You said 1 minute for each of you.
You said my own.
We are all here.
You don't want to give me a chance.
No, not what you said. Even though I'm not like to Nigeria. I'm not like to Nigeria.
The Fulanis are giving preference.
No, that's the problem. You see, that's the problem. Benson.
Okay. Let's allow Masker 1 minute, please.
No, you said you're moving. I cannot talk, but now Masker have to come and talk.
That's not what you said. All of us are here. You said each of you 1 minute, Benson.
No, the first time he said no, you don't want me to talk. He's moving. That's what
then he changed his mind later now.
You need to
because why did he change his mind? Why did he give me 3
Father, remove him. He's disturbing me.
You can't tell someone to remove somebody. You can't tell someone to remove somebody. You can mute him, not to move him.
He made a
fair how can you tell someone to remove somebody? Are you a dictator?
Masker, please go ahead.
Tinubu, remove him. Tinubu will remove governor.
Who said this? Who said this? Who said this? You should remove me.
Don't mind Uzo.
Don't mind. No, somebody remove somebody. Tinubu they remove governor.
Said it, Bensi.
Okay, please, Masker, go ahead.
That's the best, man. When you say lamb finish, you will come back.
Well, forefathers, so that Benson can be happy. I don't have to speak. There's no. I can move to the other topic so that the guy can feel happy.
Thank you for that. You
see, gentleman.
I really appreciate that. All this
that's no gentleman. Are you here to make somebody happy? Are you here to make somebody happy?
First, let me just.
Are you here to make Bessie happy? You say your mind is
let's just calm it down.
You see, they sell land for Ogoni. Say they told her, I say 1 separate plot from here to here, 2 naira.
Can you let me moderate, please? Let me calm it down a little bit with this video I saw of Nigeria. You saying something about the current state of Nigeria. It's a bit interesting because I don't know whether it's the same thing under Buhari because I didn't monitor Buhari's period in office that much. People that have seen Buhari's period, they can compare it.
Challenge 101.
Good luck go, we miss him. Buhari go, we miss him. If Tinubu go, we miss him. Our own of him.
I swear. If person won't buy data now, it go use like 15 minutes look options. That time, when I say Tinubu they shake. Now who they shake? Me and you.
To buy crates of egg for this era will be like careless spending.
With 300, if you buy mineral and egg grow, but now 300 no fit buy egg, talk less of road. To chop single sausage shawarma now, person go dey do 2 weeks of planning.
Country dey spoil dey go. One person dey one side dey shout, "My father is the best president."
Gary wey be poor man food don turn gold. No be lie. President Tinubu, abeg, do something before something do us, abeg. Tinubu.
Is it a peculiar situation, or is this? Did they do this for Buhari too? Was it this
Absolutely.
bad?
It wasn't as bad as this now. It wasn't as bad as this. It's obviously exactly what the pains are. I was speaking with my elder sister this afternoon, and she came to the US a year ago. She was comparing when she left to now. The rate at which the economy went down is obvious. It's obvious that it's that bad now. Buhari time, it wasn't. It was still 200 and change for gas. It was you can still pay light, you could still do your normal thing while you were complaining. But now the downcast level is like 1,000%. You know what it is to buy an egg for 300 naira? Huh? I just came back from Nigeria in February. You want to eat bread. A bread that is always on the dining table every day. You go there to snack on. Bread is 1,800. That's supposed to be on the table every day. For somebody that earns 150K in a month, man, you are a basically poorest man. If you earn 500K in a month, you can't even achieve anything. You can't take your children out for the weekend
Yeah, it's tough.
unless you do a
It's tough
proper
in Nigeria.
planning. Is that bad? Then you are taking a family of 4 out. You are spending 50,000 naira. And they're telling you that the minimum wage was increased. Increased to what now, guy? Increased to what? Man, those guys are in for it. It's that bad.
Nigeria has 2 layers. That's one thing I noticed. If you want to live like normal people, you will spend 50,000. But there's a way you go about it. Some people can manage money and they have a 2-layer economy. I was shocked when I found out that you can buy yam at a price that is very low because you can buy it from the people that carry it on their head in Abuja. I didn't know the price difference was
Different
massive.
from the supermarket.
Yes.
To Niger. I bet the topic when mask start now, so
All
we
right.
can go to sleep.
Okay. I'm gonna play some videos now.
They buy yam for food.
Basically headlines. It's basically the headlines of this week. Then we select which one we want to talk about. I have my biases, but we can just look at them one by one. All right. So let me start with this one. Let me go there and play that. I thought it was already here. It's not even. Have I not? I think it's here now. Yes, just hold on for a second.
Put me backstage, I beg.
I'll do that now. I'll do that. Just hold on. Uzo, where is Uzo there? All right, Uzo is backstage now. And now let me get this presentation screen in place. All right, now we are good to go. All right, let's play this now. All right.
What we know so far about this, there's still a few unanswered questions, but finally we got the detail on what Donald Trump meant by this Liberation Day. And let me just kind of start by showing you these bars are how high those tariffs, the US tariffs, are on various different countries around the world at the moment, or rather before Donald Trump came into office, and a quick kind of bit of revision on where we've come from so far. So threatened tariffs on Mexico and Canada, they were repeatedly threatened, repeatedly rescinded or lifted, but they might well be back again, who knows? But for the time being, they're gone. We know we got an extra 10% tariffs on China, China 1.0, then another extra 10% tariffs on China 2.0, you might call them. And we're now kind of waiting to find out what happened next. And we finally did find it out. Let's just start. There are 2 parts to this. Okay, so first of all, there is going to be a 10% baseline tariff. So you see all of these bars go up by 10%, including, of course, the UK. But that, as far as the White House is concerned, is just a baseline. And then on top of that, there are different tariffs for different nations, what they call reciprocal tariffs. And they say they've gone through the numbers. They've looked at not just the tariffs that other countries around the world are charging the US, but also what they call non-tariff barriers, so other things. And they've worked out, by the way, Canada, those Mexico-Canada tariffs might well come back, so we might well start from that position. But reciprocal tariffs might push all of these bars, or will push all of these bars up considerably higher. So just look at how the picture of trade and tariffs in the US has changed dramatically as a result of these measures, which are coming in the next few days. And just to give you a few highlights of what we're talking about. So you could look, for instance, over there at China. So China, that's a 34% reciprocal tariff, but it takes the total amount, provided that goes on top of the existing tariff, it takes the total amount up above 50%. And you're talking, when tariffs are going above 50%, that makes any trade very, very difficult and far less likely to happen. So that's China, but you can probably see here, Vietnam as well. And the point here from the White House has been to say, listen, lots of Chinese goods going into the US, but also going through, being Vietnam and Cambodia as well, being conduits for goods to go to America. And the point here from Donald Trump the US wants to reindustrialize. And so it's all about trying to make things domestically. But finally, look at the UK, 10% on the UK. And for many people here, obviously, it is a big increase on where things were before, only a few percent, the average rate for the UK. But that goes up to 10%. It is the best rate that anyone has amongst any nations. In fact, the best rate that any G7, any leading economy in the world has, and certainly better than the EU, all of whom are having to pay an extra 20% in total, so 10% and another 10% on top. But even so, all of this will potentially diminish the amount of trade going on around the world and diminish the amount of stuff going into the US. And finally, it's worth just saying, what was the stock market reaction? Well, this decision was made after markets had closed, but we can look at the futures market. This is the NASDAQ futures market, and look at what happened. It went up a little bit after the announcement, and then it's come down quite considerably. So a market reaction there, which implies that when markets open in Asia, and indeed when they were open across the US and Europe, we're going to see some falls to come as people respond to this.
Ed, take a seat. I've got another question.
Thank you. And as you can see, China and Asian countries are the real target. The reason why it's going after Mexico and Canada is because they get a lot of Chinese goods coming and they don't want it coming into America. This is okay. Now let's move on to the next one. I think this one should be no, I don't want to play this one, at least not yet. Where's the other one? The Tinubu. Let me see. Okay, let's play this one too. This is not very good news, but let's just
before dawn on the 23rd of March. The first rays of sunlight can be seen as a convoy of Palestinian Red Crescent ambulances are traveling on a road to the north of Rafah, searching for missing colleagues. The Israeli military would later claim that they didn't have their emergency lights on. This video shows very clearly that in fact they did. The convoy spots the missing ambulance on the side of the road, so they pull over. The paramedics, wearing their uniforms, get out and start to move towards the vehicle. Israeli soldiers then open fire. The video goes black, but the mobile phone keeps recording for another 5 minutes, much of which is almost constant gunfire. One of the paramedics, Rifat Redwan, can be desperately heard reciting the Shahada, the Muslim prayer before death. Forgive me, mother, he says. This is the path I chose to help people. He was later found with a bullet in his head and this mobile phone still on him. It was 5 days before the IDF gave permission to the United Nations to retrieve the 15 bodies. They were found in a mass grave and their vehicles crushed beside them. The Israeli military has claimed that 8 of the dead were Hamas. They have not yet provided any evidence of that. The Israeli military has also claimed that the vehicles were traveling without coordination in a combat zone. But a Sky News investigation has revealed that an evacuation order was not issued by the IDF for that area until at least an hour after the incident.
Their ambulances were clearly marked and they should have returned to the families. They did not. Even in the most complex conflict zones, there are rules. These rules of international humanitarian law could not be clearer. Civilians must be protected. Humanitarians must be protected. Health services must be protected.
Following the emergence of the video, the IDF has released a new statement saying that all claims, including documentation circulating about the incident, will be thoroughly and deeply examined to understand the sequence of events and the handling of the situation. More than 400 aid workers have been killed during the 18 months war in Gaza.
Yeah, that was the incident that occurred this week, where the Israeli military decided that it's a good idea to take out some, Palestinian health workers. This is just one incident amongst many that the West is super. In short, they are not even. They pretend as if it's not even happening. Now you see how they manage to wipe out the entire American continent without a lot of fanfare, because they can just pretend as if they don't see it. They hardly cover it. This is Sky News covering it. Very, very rare they cover any information about that. And the other thing that happened this week was that Trump is talking about the third term. I don't know. I think, is that not the third term talk? Okay, let me just play this quickly.
President Trump appears to be open to challenging a constitutional barrier put in place more than 70 years ago. According to the Associated Press, the president said during a phone call he is, quote, not joking about the possibility of seeking a third term in the White House. The president said, quote, there are methods which you could do it. As Christian Benavides reports, those comments come amid tense talks with international leaders.
In a rebuke to a recent letter from President Trump, Iran's president has refused direct nuclear talks with the U.S. During his first term, Trump unilaterally pulled the U.S. out of Iran's 2018 nuclear deal that President Obama and other Western leaders helped put together. As President Trump wades into foreign policy around the world, there's more reaction to Vice President J.D. Vance's visit Friday to a U.S. military base in remote Greenland.
Greenland really matters for the security of the United States.
Mark Warner, the top Democrat on the Senate Intelligence Committee, criticized President Trump for not ruling out using force to secure Greenland, which is a territory of NATO ally Denmark.
Legitimate interest and stronger ties with Greenland? Absolutely. The idea that we are going to threaten a military invasion against a population that, at least everything I've read, overwhelmingly, the people in Greenland don't want to become part of America.
And now a new CBS poll finds Americans evenly split on whether they approve or disapprove of the job President Trump is doing so far in his second term. A majority said they approve of his immigration policies, while most surveyed said Trump has focused too much on tariffs, but not enough on lowering prices. Christian Benavides, CBS News, Miami.
Looks like most of the week's news is linked to Trump somehow. And then this one too, you can say is linked to Trump, but it's about Russia and people regretting.
They closed their embassies in Moscow. They slapped sanctions and seized Russian assets. They removed Moscow from global financial systems. And this forced hundreds of Western businesses to shut shop in Russia. Big names like Apple, McDonald's, Mercedes-Benz, all made an exit. The message was clear: no business with Moscow. All of this happened in 2022. We are now more than 3 years into the war, and with a new president in the White House, things are changing significantly and rapidly. The US president is engaging with Russia. Donald Trump is speaking to Vladimir Putin. Their diplomats are meeting frequently. They're working on a peace deal, and they're talking about normalizing relations with Russia. This is a drastic shift in American policy just from 5 months ago. Washington's strategy is going from boycott to business. And on cue, Western companies are eyeing a comeback. They want to return to Russia. But they have one concern: sanctions. They want the sanctions to be lifted so that business can go back to normal. And this is easier said than done, because look at the scale of the sanctions. The West has slapped, and listen to this, the West has slapped more than 28,000 sanctions on Moscow. Yes, 28,000 sanctions. Removing even a few will be a long, drawn process. And there are other roadblocks too, like re-entry. You see, Western firms spent the last 3 years ending operations in Russia. This included closing down outlets, abandoning supply chains, and finding alternative markets. All of this takes time. Many Western businesses even sold off their stakes to Russian businesses. McDonald's is a good example. Before the war, it had 800 outlets in Russia. It sold all of them. They're now rebranded as Vkusno and Tochka. That's what McDonald's is called in Russia. Then there is Starbucks. They too sold their units to a Russian restaurant chain. Starbucks is now called Stars Coffee in Russia. And these are just two examples. There are hundreds like these. From retail giants to food chains to car makers, every Western brand was in a rush to exit Russia. It was all part of a plan. The West called it economic isolation, and let me tell you, it has failed miserably. Because once Western firms made their exit, others swooped in. The void in Russian markets was filled quickly. Indian, Chinese, and Turkish companies made their moves, and now they're making profits. Western boardrooms see this, and they're asking themselves one question: did we make a mistake? They want to return now, because Russia remains a lucrative market. It is the 11th largest economy in the world. It has more than 140 million customers. This is a country rich in oil, gas, and minerals, not to mention a major military power. So Russia will always be in business. And if you're a business firm, you don't just walk away from a market like this. Western companies did, and they're paying the price for it. Which brings us to the next question. Who will return first? Most likely companies that are not directly affected.
I think I don't want to play that one for too long. I think we've got the gist of that. So I'm going to bring it back to the panelists so that we can discuss some of these things and learn some lessons from there. I actually think there's something to be learned from it. What is this? Yeah. I'm trying to move this video. Where is this video? It's like it's hiding. I think that's it. Is that? Oh, yeah.
Last discussion, you didn't allow me to speak.
Oh, look at that. Yeah, you will speak.
I'm serious.
This one is interesting. I don't know what you guys want to talk about. I think there's the Israeli one, Trump third term,
all of them.
Tariff one. There's no time. That's the problem. We don't have a lot of time. We have to pick our this thing.
Three minutes.
Yeah, we have to learn something from this last one though. But who is next? Who is first? 3 minutes, you think is good enough? Okay, let's do 3 minutes. Strictly 3 minutes. Obey, you go first. Dexter second. AY third. Ike fourth. Mascot fifth. And Kando the last and not the least. All right, thank you. This in the Obey, please go ahead.
Yeah, as for tariff, I don't. Well, I've not been here for a longer time, so I really don't know the mathematics he's trying to put together to begin to cause chaos among his so-called allies. I think the allying with other countries are majorly not for economic reason only. Security reason is there, threat is there, to put strength together. And most of the time, there are compromises when you are aligning with some other nations, especially your neighboring country like the Mexico, like the Canada, and the Europe that is our major ally. When this fight starts, like we were saying in the first stream, the idea of OXO, this is all about China. It's all about China, because the next strength is looking up to that part of the world. So that is where all this Muslim power is coming from. And the powerful people out there, they don't really care about the commoners, what you buy your egg from in the store, what you buy your tissue paper from. It's not the idea. He is painting a picture of let's bring jobs back to America. Like if you check the economical scale or you check comparative advantage, everybody said they should specialize and major on where they have comparative advantage from. That was where the ideology of these companies moving to China started. Because if my cost of production per unit of a shirt will cost me $1.50 in China, and it's costing me $15 in America, I'd rather make it in China with the same quality and it comes in here. Another thing American does was that they were restricting China to American SON, that's Standard Organization of SOA or whatever in America, so that they will produce to the standard of America. That was the part of the discussion they had, which was flowing. That is why a China-made product in America is different from China you will see in Nigeria or China you will see in other part of Africa. So this thing has been going on and it's been fine. It's been fine. Americans have been enjoying the fallout of those markets at the end of the day. People were not comparing if you're in China, you're buying it for $2. If you're in America, you're buying it for $18. We understand all that, but you don't live in China. You live in America. And if you're in China, how much do you earn in China that is your income? And you are going to buy, that kind of thing for whatever amount. So that was where the previous administration were considering, and those things had to move. But if you say, let's move back those companies down to America, you know what it is now. If American man does not, if you don't give me $50 per hour, I won't leave my house to come and start burning my ass for you for any kind of stupid job. After I had passed through what I passed through, even at my own field. That is what it takes. So everybody is considering which job are you going to bring that you're going to pay $12, $10 for, and people are going to be queuing for you. Nobody's going to go there to work for you, basically. I think they're not considering this part of the fight. You will see at a given point in time within this period of struggle, there will be a shortfall of these supplies, and then they will suffer. Then we got to pay more for goods. According to what's his name, Kene was looking at it from the aspect of produce American goods, or you have to compare with which one and which one. Is it not when there is product to be compared with that you'll be comparing? However, there's no comparing, and the product you are seeing is this cost. You have to buy it at that very particular price. At the end of the day, people might suffer more in one angle, and we are able to diversify the product into different manufacturers and different products of the same kind, and then there will be price disparity, and then America will gain. But the long run, we're going to have a lot of rough time at this point in time. If your income is not increasing and the prices of things that are around you, your basic needs are on the increase, of course there will be complaint. And Baba himself over there does not know that Americans strategically make a half-year election to checkmate you. So his totem agenda, he's not even talking of surviving his 4 years. He's talking about totem. Because from what it is now, everything that happens in 2024 at the election time is going to be checked properly. Because if he loses any of the house for the midterm, he's in trouble. So the totem bid, to me,
Thank you.
doesn't exist anyway. It's just blabbing.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Dexter, are you there? Dexter is not there. Dexter, are you there? Dexter.
I am here. I am here. I am here.
That your image looks like you are far away, but
No,
it's all right. All right.
here.
This is your sticky camera. I don't know why it keeps sticking and with one like the photograph.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Which one are you talking about? Trump or tariff, third term, or Russia or Israel?
In all honesty, I don't really. I won't have too much to say on the topic because, we have a lot going on our plate. Trump is doing what he's doing because he and his team feel that's the best they can do for America. It just shows their position of power. They sneeze, everybody's coughing. They sneeze, everybody's running around, twerking for them. So, the truth is, we can't expect America to be, despite all the explanation everybody makes, America cannot be the Father Christmas for everybody. Other countries are placing tariffs on American goods, Other countries place tariffs on American goods. So I think what Trump is doing is just a form of negotiation. And the way I see it, like I tell some of my colleagues, the way I see it, Trump's ideology is this: one, get countries to reduce tariffs on American goods, on goods that are coming on American goods. Okay, one, that is to help the American goods sell better. Number two, get Russia and Ukraine solved, because if you can get Russia and Ukraine to end the war, what you're going to have is Russian oil is going to get back into the global market. Once Russian oil gets back into the global market, can be sure that the price of crude oil will crash, the price of gas will go down, because Russia has massive loads to churn out. Once the price of energy goes down, then the cost of living can come down. You also have Russia and Ukraine being able to ship their grain around the world freely. Now, the moment Russia and Ukraine can ship their grain freely around the world, the cost of bread, the cost of it goes down, the cost of feeding goes down, and he'll be able to achieve what he promised people, promised the Americans during his campaign, which is lower energy prices, lower food, lower cost of feeding. That's what I think he's trying to achieve. You know, we might not like the way he's going about it, but I think that's what he wants to achieve. Because we can get the war in Ukraine settled, you can be sure that the price of crude oil is going to crash because Russia would flood the markets with their crude oil and they will sell it at a cheaper rate. Gas will go down too. Europe will get back on Russian gas. And energy cost goes down. Everybody will smile about it, you know. So that's the positive side of it. I'm not going to look at it from the political side because what happens is that people are looking from the political side, oh, because you don't support Trump, everything is doom and gloom. I don't think that is what it is, you know. So I'm not going to get involved in the tariff, whether it's good or, I mean, he's still, the way people think about it, Trump is not, I mean, Trump cannot be doing all that on his own. Definitely has an economic team around him that is working on all that. So it's not about just him, what he wants. So there are people that are punching the numbers and say, this is cause and effect of what will happen. You know, on the other part of China, and obviously, I think Apple is trying to pull out of China. You know,
Time
Apple
is
trying
up. The bell is ringing.
Oh,
Okay?
thank you.
For somebody that didn't want to say a lot, it's you know that Nigerians are the big that they are really gifted for
Forefathers,
speaking.
please, I'm leaving the office. If you can give me 2 minutes.
It's because of you I did not speak before. Now you want to take my chance again.
Anyway, my brother, you know we are friends, so I'm leaving the office. No, but if you don't want,
Okay, go ahead.
I can sign off.
God.
I don't have much to say because the
Because
spokesman
you
of
give me a wife
Trump
from
is here.
the
My
east,
brother
so
Kene is here, so I don't need to say much anymore about your Trump. The thing is this: I've always said from the beginning is that what you ask is what you get. So America get what they ask for. So deal with it, right? Doesn't concern me. I have no business with your tariff and your whatever. That's your business. But the question I asked before, when my brother Kenneth was there in the first place, I did ask that question, but I didn't. Nobody was there. They said yes, but nobody gave me a definite answer because they're talking about making sure that Americans begin to buy American-made products. So my question was that American-made products and the one that are coming from other part of the world, is American-made product more cheaper or more costly than the one that are coming from outside? Nobody can be able to give me that price because Kennedy tell me something which I slightly agree with him because he was saying that 99% of whatever we are using is from China, is produced outside. So I asked a question: what is it then is America producing that people that they're saying that the people will buy so that the American product they want to buy? What is it that they are producing? Because if
Machine gun.
99% of everything we are using is being produced outside, then what is American producing that your president is saying so that the people can go into manufacturing and begin to produce so that it can be cheaper for you have opportunity to buy either the one of America or the one from China, any other part of the world. So guys that live in America should be able to explain to me before I sign up because nobody has given me what America is producing. Because from my brother Ekene, I think I will agree with him that maybe 95% of the phone or technology, whatever we are using, the sneakers, the tennis shoes and everything we are using is produced in China for America. But they have their own quality specification. Like when they want to produce electricity, a bulb in Nigeria, they bring 2 wire and put it. When you put your fluorescent, immediately you put it in your this and it goes off, it dies. So American specification is what China is producing. So my question to all of you who are economists, like where is Jide and the forefathers, all of you that are economists who knows everything about what's going on around the world, what is America producing? What do they produce on their own? That China do not add anything, Taiwan did not add anything, in Singapore did not add anything, nobody add anything. What are they producing?
Yeah. That's a good question.
Can I respond to him?
No, it's not you.
Go ahead.
AY is talking.
Okay, let me. Ordinarily, I will not discuss this topic, right? One thing I'm going to say, the inconsistency, the dishonesty in the mouth of Nigeria when they speak is appalling. It needs to be studied. I'm just wondering, when Tinubu make all his economic blunder, how the same people were speaking. I listened to some people on this platform in the afternoon. I just feel sad. When Tinubu removed subsidy, adjusted the Naira unification, first week in office, I thought Tinubu was clueless. President Trump is delusional. If anybody tells you President Trump knows what he's doing, he's lying. I have listened to experts in this area. As a matter of fact, you don't need to be an economist to know what is going on. Trump is clueless. He does not know what is going on. This afternoon, I listened to Mr. Kandu. He was the person that actually hit the nail on the head, and Mr. Tony. Trump does not know what he's doing. Let me just give you some few numbers, because discussing Trump is a waste of time. Because America had opportunity. You have an educated, young, smart lady that has track record of performance in office. You voted for a clueless, a calm man. Since Trump resumed office, I need to give you a number. You can fact check me. Since Trump resumed office, January 20, 2025, America's stock market, close to $10 trillion has been wiped out from the stock market. Exactly $9.6 trillion. You can fact check me. This guy does not understand what he's doing. Forget about it. Were you talking of tariff? He is talking as if you are feeding the whole world. Now, country are reply to you. You think, oh, it's America. They're not going to say nothing. They are smashing America with tariff right now. What you're going to see in 3 months' time, the price of goods are going to shoot up, because the other crazy thing about this tariff thing is, what is tariff? Tariff are simply taxes that are going to be channeled to the consumers. America are going to pay for it. So it's just simple. Like if okay, even right now, Canada supply millions kilowatt of energy to America every year. Canada are threatening now. They want to stop it. They want to withdraw it. You have a lot of things. So for me, sitting here, you want to discuss Trump is just complete waste of time. Trust me. That man, he does not know what he's doing. He displayed who he is during his first tenure. People did not want to believe it, but now I think people will believe. He's going to mess American economy up as he's doing now. Then we're going to start from there. That time, and we have fun. Thank you.
Let's bring
they talk in first family day. It's another business.
Maska, what do you make of the topics that you saw? And if you want to take on the tariff one, welcome to it.
Well, the Palestinian issue.
Okay. Yeah, that was tragic.
Not just, look, the thing is, we tend to always focus on small events, and in that obsession, we always lose the big picture. Humanity as a whole has a fundamental problem. We were already numb in terms of killing people, in terms of, and there's a way we have done it over time. Even the America people talk about. The reality is that America, there was a set of people living in America, not just the North America, even the South America. These people, this set of people have completely been exterminated. and nobody talks about it. Not even some sort of respect, or there's nothing like a day for all the people that were, let's say, the initial inhabitants or the indigenous people of the Americas. Not even a day for them to be remembered. We go about life as everything is okay. The Jews were killed. I mean, you just day in, day out, day in, day out. We have a way of killing each other. So the fact that somebody killed these people is symptomatic. We have to always remember the big picture, that it's not just some few people that are being. This is what we do as a preoccupation as human beings. We're always looking for that excuse, but that's that for that. Discussing Trump is not a very interesting topic for me. There are three levels. As a Nigerian living in Nigeria, I remember having a discussion with somebody, and my analogy to him is like, well, I gave him an example. Me and him were sitting in Abuja having that discussion, and we're all from Kano. So I said, okay, look, let's assume that everybody that is in Abuja is supposed to be heading to Kano, but there's a major crisis in Kaduna. But there are a couple of 3 or 4, even maybe 20 cars, let's say, out of 200 or 300 cars that are supposed to be driving to Kano. But these 20 or 30 cars, somehow they have their compass wrong. And we suddenly realize among our cars, we are heading towards Lokoja. And we don't seem to even find a place to do a U-turn, and we keep driving towards Lokoja. How is the Kaduna problem my problem at that point? My problem is how to turn around and even start heading to Kaduna. Hopefully, maybe by the time I turn towards Kaduna, this issue in Kaduna is over. That, for me, is what the Trump issue is. Nigeria is not even practicing economics. So as a Nigerian living in Nigeria, I cannot begin to argue and participate in all these stories about the tariff. But from an academic and intellectual perspective, my take is that people write off Trump, and I think they are very funny people. To write somebody who would rise to be an American president 2 times, there's something wrong with you. To think that he doesn't know what he's doing, that guy is a fool. These are statements people associate with that guy. It's the same thing Nigerians used to do about Abacha. That's how the guy ruled us for so many years and did a lot of things. So I will not write up Trump. In terms of what he's doing, I'm asking myself, this guy is, if there's anything I know about Trump, is that he is a bluffer. He bluffs a lot. So people like that, when they are doing something, I am not going to read it on face value. Because on face value, it doesn't make sense what he's doing. Because America, people forget. And I listened to the people on the panel saying, what does America produce? The fact of the matter is that America is the 2nd largest exporter in the world today. So it does not make sense for me. If you are the 2nd largest exporter, it does not make sense for me that you're raising a trade war. But like I said, I have learned to be very careful with people. I look at people and their achievement, and I don't write them off. For you to be president of the United States 2 times, there's something you know that a lot of other people don't know. And I'm not going to read your actions on face value. I'm telling myself that this Trump, he knows what he's doing, but I am suspecting that it may backfire.
Yeah, exactly. That's how I'm reading it too. The logic behind what he's doing is the same thing I argued for Nigeria. I said Nigeria should put up trade barriers. That's tariff, because we keep saying that we need dollars. The part of the reason why we need dollars is because people are buying useless things. Put tariff on all those useless things that they're buying, and only lower the tariff for the things that we actually need, like machineries, computers, and all those things. So that's one of the arguments. People were like, "Oh, wait, but look at Trump. That's exactly what he's doing." And
they are tariff already now.
The tariff is not.
The tariff already, yeah.
No, it's not serious tariff.
It's not a joke. If I import a computer, it doesn't know that he pay over 50% of import duty. in the proper
Even
work.
a new car is 200%.
Even a
New car in Nigeria, 200% tariff.
There's a lot, but people are
Nigeria
speaking
tariff is
to
very high.
They put it high
They're
now.
very high.
When was this done? I didn't know that.
Ship the new
But
iPhone to
the
Nigeria.
reality
See how
also
much
is
they're gonna
that the
charge you.
reality also about tariffs, they don't work.
Yeah, they
They
don't
simply
enforce
don't
it.
work. What I would have advised Trump to do is to look at what are your comparative advantages, what are your areas of. We know that America is one of their major specialization is aeronautics. I think they are the major exporters of planes and plane engines and stuff like that.
Machineries. Don't come
Yeah,
military.
so are these tariff driven? No, they are not goods that are
Services.
with services also. And what people don't know, America
Nigeria
is
is
a
showing
major
that it is
exporter of
40%.
oil and gas, all these minerals, even precious stones. But like I said, for me, my take is it's not an interesting topic for me because Nigeria is heading towards Lokoja. This is a crisis in Kaduna. I don't think as a person I should be too bothered about it. Secondly, I believe Trump knows what he's doing, and he's the kind of person that is not going to come out and tell you exactly what he is planning. He has a plan. But my final take is that if you use this as an instrument, it may backfire, given that you are the second largest exporter in the world.
Yeah, Nigeria charges 40% tariff on cars, new cars, fairly new used cars, 35%, and from what I can see, VAT is 7.5%, which is quite low. Surcharge 7%. Oh, they do have ECOWAS levy 0.5%. Why don't they do that for this European Union too? So that said, we do charge this thing, but I think it should be higher, especially in other areas. I don't think computer is up to that amount, so that when we can stop things from coming to the country that don't need to come into the country. And all these people that keep going overseas to study, they too
Like
should
what?
be taxed.
Like what? You don't want to come into the country.
Like Okrika, like things that we
They
can
ban
manufacture.
Why would Okrika not come to Nigeria, forefathers? Why?
Because it's useless. We should be making our own textiles.
Okay, with what electricity?
We don't have enough electricity.
So
but
what
we
are
have
you talking
enough.
about? Please,
No,
let's
hold on.
We don't even have
See
the
what you are
schools.
doing. Hold on, you are not listening. You don't just say stop. The process is a process. It's not just one day. When you
So no,
tariff,
I agree with you. It's a process. The starting point is not tariff and banning Okrika. You get the electricity first. That's
not necessarily.
Very
You
necessary.
have some electricity. Because the industry, you can decide that you give industry electricity, not necessarily homes.
Why can't you just fix the electricity? Why should electricity be a big deal?
See, India doesn't have electricity everywhere before they started putting tariff on things. You can put tariff on areas without necessarily solving all the problems of the country.
Even when there is boom in Nigeria Tesla mill, Okrika still there. The Nigeria was a boom before. As one Tesla mill, Abaka can count nothing 1,000 of them. Okrika still there. As one is still there. Dankara still there for Lagos those days. So leave that story. We know where our problem is.
If you are serious about import substitution, you have to start clamping down on it. Otherwise, local companies cannot compete.
I'm saying, forefathers, if
you
are serious
about wait.
What you need to do first is to
ask for something. For America, say they work for here. Most of them they work. Is it they work for here? They buy new clothes here.
But I think
people buy used clothes also.
It can do time to talk so that we can be fair to each other.
Yeah.
I hear what you are saying about this thing, putting the infrastructure in place, but we don't have zero infrastructure. We have some. The problem is that the ones in Nigeria now they can't make profit, enough profit, because the ones coming from outside are killing them.
How many megawatts of electricity are we producing?
Okay, don't try to shame us now. Let's not do that.
No, how many? What are we producing?
We know it's around 5,000 megawatts. that we are
Let
generating.
can do talk now for father. Don't can go in there. Let can talk.
Yeah, can do. Please go ahead. 3 minutes.
Yeah. Good evening, everyone. Mr. Masker, okay, looking at that video from Gaza area, this is what's been happening on a relatively consistent basis over the last 20 years. Human beings are just slaughtered by these people. Reporters are killed on live TV. In this latest tenth of the bombing of Gaza, over 300 children have been killed in the last 3 weeks. Since October 7, 13,000 children have been slaughtered, massacred, with this man's inhumanity to man. And we have just all moved along. It's no big deal. They shouldn't have gone and killed 1,200 people. So because they killed 1,200 people, it is okay for shameful people to go and kill 13,000 children. Again, that's 13,000. On the case of Mr. Trump, even Yabo at Ido Market, where they sell pepper, can tell you that his economic policy will not work. Is it anywhere in the world, wherever it is? Obviously, governments put taxes on certain things in order to encourage certain things. You want to encourage local production. And as I said earlier on, when Dr. Damages was here, we moved manufacturing of T-shirts, of steel out of America in the 80s because it was cheaper. Is economic of scale. And like Mr. Musk said, you figure out the areas where where is most beneficial to you, and you focus on that. So you want to start manufacturing shoes and iPhones in America rather than in China. The cost, go and check it. The cost of making the iPhone is not even 40% of what they sell it for. I think it's around 32%. So it's not the manufacturing cost. It's a value proposition. That is why certain things are sold for a certain price. A shirt that is made and they put a label on it, what do you think it is? It's just a shirt. But because it's a brand name, they can charge you $1,000 for it if you're foolish enough to go and buy it. So Trump has nothing for you. There is nobody's bringing anything back. Mercedes-Benz, BMW, Honda are being manufactured in America already. Thank you.
Thank you. I think, Kene, thank you for that. About the Israeli one, and people forget that 13,000 children. I don't know any conflict in recent times that we've ever had that. These are our numbers. Kene, please go ahead.
Yes, I actually call him so that I will be able to put that subtitle. May God empower Israel more, because I realized that I made a comment on the comment section and it was taken down. I repeated it, but somebody I assume the person is so shameless, took it upon herself to keep taking it down.
Kene, you have to be sensitive. Are you saying that?
I have
13,000 children getting killed. You are saying that they should be empowered even more.
I have my reasons for saying that. Do I have my right? No, do I have the right to my speech? Do I have the right?
I'm not sure we should be saying that it's okay to kill 13,000 children.
I said, may God empower Israel more. And I put it on capital, with capital letters. Please, I should be allowed to take responsibility.
Are you saying that they are justified to kill 13,000 children?
You don't even know the reason why I put that.
That's what I'm asking.
Okay.
You can say no.
Okay, hold on. Forefathers, let me put it this way.
I noticed you didn't say no.
Yeah. No, hold on. I will not say no. Let me put it this way. I'm in my house. You invaded my house and killed my grown adult child. Let me put it this way. My adult child, right? A child is a child. If I turn around to retaliate and you are with your 1-year-old baby, I don't care, even if it's just 1 month, I will put everybody down straight in retaliation. You don't tell me how to defend myself or how to retaliate in a war. Get that sink, please. Now, I am not that kind of person that they bamboozle with emotional stuff. No, we've grown past that level. But this is what I have to say here concerning U.S. tariff and whatever anybody thinks they have to say, because we are all smart economics. But Trump, with his lineup of professional economics, they are all dumb. We know more than them. See, it's just like when you have a surgery. You have a surgery to correct something. Surgery heals with processes. The first phase of the healing process is what they call inflammatory phase. This is when you feel the pain most. And this is how the situation that the United States found itself right now, the inflammatory process. Now, if you are not strong enough, you may think that the surgery is even worse off than your previous situation or the prior situation. We should learn to endure a little. Now, the second phase is a proliferation stage. This is when the cells will begin to grow back, the tissues will begin to grow, and then we have the maturation state or the phase. But we are all not willing to exercise a little patience. Oh, Trump is killing the economy. We don't even know the reason why this tariff is being imposed on all these countries. And I still repeat it. United States, most of its day-to-day items or products are all imported. All imported. The electronics in your house, if you're in the United States right now, count them from A to Z. Go and check where they manufacture it. You see that?
Thank you.
China,
But
Vietnam, or India. Hold on. Or India. Hold on. Yeah, let me round up, please. Yeah, let me round up. Now, even electricity, Canada give United States, some of the states, electricity. Now, Canada was trying to, because the United States level imposed tariff, they were going to retaliate. They retaliated. What happened at the end of the day? They backed down, they reversed it because they know that United States has the market power. United States has that leverage to call the shots. So if you think you know better than Trump's economics, that is fine. Let's watch and see. So the stock market,
in 6 minutes time, we are going to leave it so
that reactive state, it will still come down to normal. It will balance out.
Yeah, in 6 minutes time, we are going to leave it so everybody talks for about 10 minutes or so, then we'll be able to round up. Uzo, thank you for joining us. What do you make of some of the videos you've seen today from the Israeli killings, the Trump tariffs, the businesses that want to move into Russia? And I think that one may be more subtle. We are not paying attention to that. I think that's something we have to think about, because if America decides to go after China now, maybe it's an opportunity for Nigeria. We should be calculating and thinking, if they want to start putting their companies out of China, then maybe we should be talking to, because China will be looking for other customers. You see what I mean?
Are you mocking Nigeria, or are you serious?
Hold on.
I'm serious.
Forefather.
Master, why are you being so negative? I'm saying we should be looking at opportunities.
I'm not being realistic. I'm saying that this is the step-by-step Nigeria should do. You want to go to Russia. Anyway, Uzo, sorry,
see,
go ahead.
When you say step-by-step, sometimes events is not up to you to decide. You have to take advantage of opportunities that show up, like many countries did in the case of Russia. Uzo, was it India was not exactly the most sophisticated country in the world?
I won't talk about the Israeli killing on that. What I would say, talk about China. 80% or 90%, 100% of what Nigeria is using, where is it coming from? The same China. Okay, good. Now, on the business that will go back to if I'm the Russian government, all right, I'll place 150 short before any of these business that left will come back. The major share should be a Russia with over 70%. I will place an embargo, and they're going to pay a lot for leaving for the first place. If I want to come back, if I'm Russia's number one.
That's what they said. That's what they actually said.
If I'm Russia,
they said they have to do something to be able to even return.
So we don't only talk about America. Even those that are not in America don't know how you're affecting us here. I cry more than they believe. That's my problem. People cry more than the family themselves. Nigerians will cry more than people even living here. Some of us are living in America, all right? Sometimes you go out, you talk to people, they don't know what is going on. They will see Nigerians all over the place. Not even talking about how to, listen, Nigeria is not producing anything. All the companies have left Nigeria. We are surviving on protection in everything. Do you know how much it is, the tariff they charge in the official one? You know how, for you to get their goods cleared in a proper way, you know how much it costs? Nobody talk about that. It's normal. This month they will increase it, that's when they increase it. It's normal thing. Nobody even talk anything. All of us are shouting America. Nobody is talking the tariff that's going up there in Tika Island, all over the place. They're just charging both official and non-official. So now, we that are living here, all right, as much as the goods goes up, people will be demanding for more, all right? And when people demanding for more, that more money in people's pockets, and they can afford the goods, all right? So that's the way I see it, number one. Secondly, I don't think Trump is doing as I don't know say something. Everybody, a madman will tell you know what he's doing. So I won't call somebody that is a clueless or is this. Man, you know what he's doing on your own part. But for you, it may not be good for you. But for him, you know what he's doing. Whether he fail, he will bear it. Then if he gain, he's going to bear it. But who suffer most is the masses. The masses. Nothing have changed yet. The gas pump is just like that. The food goes up, comes down. Things are just playing. But end of the day, the masses is going to suffer it. But those that vote for Trump and those that don't vote for Trump are going to gain or suffer the consequence of putting all the tariffs. Years back, for real, I used to buy it from China. I pay no tax, no tariff. The amount I buy it, I bring it direct during the Obama regime. Until Trump came when Trump came. He did with China. This is, we forgot. Even here, the city I am, the city I am, the guy had back of China. The guy locked it down, ransacked everything, he ransacked them. The guy did with them last time, all right, openly. He closed up their businesses here. He openly do with them. Now it's coming, and what do you expect? Then we'll start paying 15% of everything he imports from China. He goes through Taiwan and anywhere to import it, all right? But right now, he's raising the tariff. So as long as the tariff, everything will also be rising. So people is going to feel the pains, but the workers are also going to demand for more. When we talk about workers, we are not looking at the major players. We are looking at little ones. People are going to demand for more because end of the day, the cost of living will be high and people will be demanding for more. If across Americans, if you don't pay them more, they will find one thing and find unemployment and sit in their house and collecting money. I just sit in the house because I trust them. They just sit in the house. Now we Nigeria go okay, the unemployment is a shameful thing. For we, the unemployment is a shameful, but for them it's not a shameful thing. Somebody can decide to say, I cannot do with this. You sit in the house every month, 2 weeks, go and collect his paycheck and fight this, fight that, make money for him. Before maybe you that is working, make more than you. So that's how this country. So if you're not in this country, I don't think you know how we are living here. You don't know how you know how you are living here. But as far as Nigeria is concerned, it's our country. We understand one or two players what they are playing there. At the end of the day, everybody I will not stand and say somebody is stupid. All right, because you don't have that person mind. The way you see 3, somebody else can see it as W.
Your
Can tell
time
that
is
this.
up or Uzo.
So you didn't shut me up now. Let me tell you something.
I'm shutting you down. I played the sound. You didn't listen to it.
I bet I leave the alone. I
have a question for Kenneth because he made a statement.
Let's allow
I
Kija
just wanted to
speak.
make sure
Let's
everybody
allow
finished
Kija speak. You can go ahead. After Kija speaks, you can go ahead.
Nigel was saying something.
All right.
No, let us Kija now. Kija finish.
Hello.
Okay.
Yeah, welcome, Kija.
Thank you, guys. I was there. I was listening in the afternoon, but I came to say something, and that topic shifted. But I mean, I have a lot to say, sure. But I want to start with the people that support people killing people.
Yeah, it's 3 minutes, so you don't have a lot.
No, I should give more than 3 minutes, please. You guys have been speaking.
Okay. Let's do 5 minutes so that way. Then after that, then everybody can be able to
3 minutes. All of us did 3 minutes.
All right.
Okay.
So
now they are protesting. They are protesting now.
Oh, you people are taking my time.
Masca, why you? Masca is being the
Let
Okija
tough
speak now.
It's you that is distracting your yourself.
If
I'm
people
distracting myself because I'm listening to audience. This
let Okija speak.
Please go ahead.
If collateral damage, is something to that should be encouraged. Just like always, I try to give justice so that justice comes to me. That means it's okay also that we have Igbos that were killed during the Biafran War. There is justified. People that faced hunger is justified. If we are supposed to be supporting killing because some people killed some people. So whatever happens to Igbo, like the Nigerian army that they go to Igbo land bombing places is justified as long as because there were people that killed some police officers that killed some military people. So it's always justified. So that's the way we have to do it. We can't just say that it's justified here and here it's not justified. That's what I have to say about that. On the US, can I say something about the electricity? Trump, the tariff on Canada, he removed it. So that was why the electricity, and even on this tariff that happened, Mexico is not included, Canada is not included, Russia is not included. So if he wants to go, against Canada, Canada will retaliate. I know that. When during his first term, he was the one who negotiated with Canada and Mexico, and the former NAFTA, he tore it apart. And then they did US whatever CMC whatever USMCA whatever, and then he ratified it. He signed it. We made so much noise about it that America has been liberated, and now he is going back and trying to put tariff on Canada. It's just a man that doesn't know what he's talking about. One of the things they don't know about American economy. Tim Cook of Apple was saying something. He was in a room in a small room talking about why they make Apple, things in China. He said that they don't have precision workers in the US. Precision workers, because like for iPhone, they are so small particles, small tiny particle parts. They have to be put together. You need precision workers. People who are attentive, who will listen, who will just stay there, work and do the job. They said that in US, that they don't have, you can't get precision workers to fill a room. But in China, they have millions of precision workers. So that's why they make their, it is not about the cost. So it's about, getting the workers who will do it. So all over the US, you have so many jobs that are open. People don't want to work. And Kene was saying something in the during the afternoon, something about unemployment, the collected unemployment. Unemployment doesn't work that way. Unemployment is if you work, you pay the company or you pay insurance towards unemployment. And then after, when you do for unemployment, if you lose your job, not because of your fault, you collect unemployment usually 6 months to 1 year. After that, you don't collect any more unemployment. You have exhausted your unemployment, so you have to go and look for a job. So it doesn't work that way. It's not that people don't want to work. It just the way the economy is. There are some jobs Americans do not want to work. Trump, during his first term, he put tariff on China. He put on agricultural product. Soybeans, American farmers, they lost. He ended up paying them subsidy. because they lost so much money. China that was buying so much, soybeans from America, they moved to Brazil. They started buying from Brazil because of his stupidity. He said he was like gonna build some factories that for the refrigerator companies. They ended up moving to Mexico. He just saying things he doesn't know. Can they say what do they make in US? They make dryers in US, dryer for drying clothes. They make speakers, they make laundry machines, stoves, they make them in US. Bottles, they make them in US. There are so many things are made in US. So just talking about people that you don't study what going on, you just produce, say things. The US doesn't have to be a producing economy. Singapore, Hong Kong, they're one of the two countries that they have one of the highest income per capita, per citizen, and that they don't produce anything. Singapore, they don't produce anything. Singapore, even though they have refinery, what they do, they buy oil from different countries and they refine it and sell. That's what they do. They say service-driven economy, just like Hong Kong. Yeah, just like Hong Kong. You don't have to produce anything to be a good economy. UK was a producer before, but UK, they've been losing that age. They become more of service-driven economy. So Trump, he's saying all these things during his first term. What did he do? He lost so many jobs. He lost so many factory jobs. The way factory work different, in the olden time, it's not the way it works today. Before, like you fabricate some of the parts you use, you have to fabricate them, use the mills, they fabricate them. But now, no, you have machines that do all those things. So you don't have to have Ohio people that lost their job in Ohio. You don't have to, because no more, the working, making vehicles no longer the same way. So they don't need you to fabricate or do things. They have machines that do them. So if you lost that job, train in the new economy. When Joe Biden came in, they had what did he do? The CHIP Act. CHIP Act, what he did, because China, they were competing who was going to dominate in AI, in the chip, semiconductor, whatever. He invested so much money. He gave them a lot of companies. They came and they invested. So many people, on the jobs were created in that area. Instead of Trump, sitting down, finding out what he wants, what he has to do. No, he just make up in plans. The formula he used, he got it from ChatGPT. ChatGPT, that's where they got the plan. The formula from ChatGPT, to the extent that even they put tariff on island that have only penguins, that don't have people. On island that they have just US military base, nobody, no country live there, just military base. US took over. Ireland.
They need tariff on that island just in case the human beings decide to go there. The tariff is in place.
They put tariff on Ireland occupied by US military base, US people. They put tariff on Ireland occupied by penguins.
I'm timing him.
Penguins. Listen, what people don't know, Trump has been talking about tariff since 1985, because he doesn't know anything that comes. People have done about Trump. Once something comes into their head, they run with it. They don't articulate it. Try to make research. Here, what happened is this, okay? When he wanted to run in 2016, okay, what he did was he didn't have any economic policy. So because of that, tariff has been in his brain, all along. He called his son-in-law. He said, "I need an economic agenda. What am I gonna do?" The son-in-law asked him, "What do you want to do?" He was talking about tariff. So the son-in-law went online, went to Amazon, and did a research. I did check books, and he found a book, Death by China, written by Peter Navarro, about tariff. So he called Peter Navarro. Oh, Trump wanted to be economic advisor. That's why Peter Navarro came. So Peter Navarro came, started telling Trump about tariff, how the work they're gonna do it. So they asked him to bring papers to support his argument. He brought his books, and then he brought articles written by Ron Vara. Ron Vara. Who is Ron Vara? Who's Ron Vara? It's Saint Peter Navarro, his last name, anagram of his last name. He wrote the papers, under his, anagram of his last name, Ron Vara. And he presented them that, that's, that all the fact papers written by someone. So that's how Trump, started with, this idea, Peter Navarro is the one who's feeding him with all these ideas about tariff. No articulation, no plan. Economic policy is not driven by government. Economic policy is driven by, businessmen. They have to sit down with government and say, what is the agenda?
hold on, Okija. I think your time definitely is up. So I will open it up
Thank
for
you.
general conversation.
Paparas. Let me respond. Let me respond, please.
And everybody try to be reasonable, like you are talking to somebody face to face.
Yeah,
Don't
my brother here mentioned my name, so let me respond there. Paparas, on the comment section, they are calling on two Niger to come and take over from you. I don't know why they are saying that anyway. But this is it. Since Trump assumed office barely 2 months ago, electronic giants, which is Samsung and LG, are considering moving their plants that is currently located in Mexico back to US. And I want us to fact check me. Hyundai Motors is planning also to localize its production in the US. Then we have Nissan. Nissan is in a serious talk with the White House right now to moving their production from Mexico back to US. And then we have Honda. Honda is expected actually to produce his next generation Civic hybrid model in Indiana, United States. If the economy is not thriving, if Trump is not doing better to encourage domestic production, these companies wouldn't be talking about moving back to United States. Again, coming to tariff, right? Apple, even within this talk of tariff, Apple has made an historic $500 billion investment currently.
No,
And
they have
also,
not made. They said they would make. They will say they would make. All these things are promises.
Hold on. They can't make empty promises like that because
they didn't to him in the first step. Many companies get promises in the first step.
Hold on. Yeah, let me finish. When you were talking, nobody interjected. Nobody.
Yeah, but this is not a long session. I will say we should be allowing people talking. Now you want to go for long.
And again, recently, Trump announced $500 billion private investment in artificial intelligence. This is coming to the US. All this investment, we have a whole list. So please, before we begin to talk down on people's efforts, we should try as much as possible to educate ourselves on some vital or important goals, because we cannot just wake up and begin to tariff all these countries. It has a goal, and the goal is what we are neglecting. Hold on, AY. We should try to learn why he's doing all these things, right? No. I've not spoken. No, I've not spoken. It's not yet my time.
This is brief interaction. Okay.
Here's what I'm going to say, right?
We have a whole list.
Listen to Kekene.
Please, we should try to educate ourselves on some certain things. We're talking about unemployment. Hold on now. AY, this will not cost you anything. We're talking about unemployment.
He started talking. You take over again.
Let me add something.
Let's try to make it quick, snap section.
Okay, AY. We are talking about unemployment. Official Makita said that I was alluding that unemployment comes from government. No. I don't know how unemployment works like that. Because I've never been there. But the thing is,
hold on. If you talk too much, you waste it. What Okija was explaining now, they are just like stamp on the wall. That's what it is. Listen, let me add to what Okija said. JP Morgan, if you know the history of JP Morgan, before the tariff battle, he has said that the chances of America going to recession was 40%. After this tariff, he increased that number to 60%, meaning America are very close to getting to recession. Again, let me just say this. I don't want to talk too much. The honest truth is, Trump, I know Masca was saying he know what he's doing, he cannot get president 2 times. The reason why Trump is here, his racism issue, failure of Biden not to curtail war in Gaza, curtail war in Russia, people were hungry. These were all the issues. So the issues were kind of different. The issue of Gaza, the video of Gaza you show, Fofana, For me, to be honest, I'm so tired of Gaza. I don't have anything to say. I'm just watching. I don't know what was the Israel can do apart from maybe they go to burial ground, remove all the dead body and kill them again. I don't know what they can do. But for me, I don't want to even go into that issue because of my mental health. But I think the humanity in the world is gone. It's just completely gone. Everybody, any good human being that live on earth, you just condemn what they are doing in their heart. Let God that control the world give them an answer. That's just my own on that. But on Trump issue is waste of time too. This guy is confused. If anybody is telling you Trump know what he's doing, I repeat, Trump is very confused. He does not know what he's doing. I have listened to top economists online. Go online. You will hear people speaking. Okay, look at now. The other issue he's trying to cause. He's trying to cause another war. Somebody that said, day one, I will stop the war in Ukraine. Day one, I will stop the war in Gaza. He's even looking for a way to start a war with Iran. Just imagine how dumb can that be? So he talks to people as if he's their father. Even if you are their father, you think you're going to make a call to Putin and Zelensky and say, hey, don't throw any bomb. You must stop that war. No, it doesn't work like that. It's process.
Are you talking about Daddy Trump?
All this stuff.
Are you talking about Daddy Trump?
Trump is just delusional. If you follow Trump for years, we will not be here. Even when there was COVID, Trump was denying there is nothing like COVID. COVID was killing thousands in America. Trump was denying it. Oh, just take a bleach and drink a bleach. This guy, I don't know why people even listen to him. To be honest, it's waste of time discussing him. Anybody
he ran 21 companies, including a casino, and he had plans. He ran 21 companies to the ground, including a casino, including Babu Jebu.
7 back.
He ran to the ground. He had plans.
People are saying Trump. He's a con man. Forget about that guy.
And on Thursday, while the economy was collapsing, he took a chopper. He went to Florida to play golf.
Yeah.
I mean, could you imagine playing for the white room bond?
People are Kenyan that support Trump. They just say stuff, so you hear that he's doing something. Kenyan know in his mind.
Let me ask Kenyan a question.
No, sorry,
I've been listening to you guys all day, and can I please speak?
Want to ask me?
Let me just say.
I wanted to ask Kenyan a question, please.
If all of this, Master, could you please let me speak? I've been listening to you guys all day.
No, I've actually requested that I ask Kenyan a question before you join.
If all of this was happening under Obama, what would your reaction be?
If all what?
All of this nonsense that Trump is doing, all this rubbish chaos is causing all over the world.
Which one? Be specific. Let me know.
The tariffs,
okay,
crushing the economy, giving all these 2,000 more bombs to Israel, trying to start a war with Iran. All of this. He's wrecked everything. Okay, you can argue one day it could get better, but if this was all happening under Obama, what would your reaction be?
Like Obama, if Trump had woken up one day, invade one African country, and slain the leader, Libya, I will speak against Trump. I will say, no, this is not acceptable. This was what Obama did. If Trump would have woken up one day without giving Africa any help at all, but to send his Secretary of State to go canvass all over Africa for gay rights to be imposed in Africa, I will speak against that. So I see these are the things that Obama did that Trump will not do, and he has not done. So I will speak against evil if I see one.
Okay,
but talking about the tariff, talking about the tariff, I see nothing wrong with the tariff. Like I just illustrated here a few minutes ago, there is a process for healing. This is what America is in right now. When you have a problem and you undergo surgery There is a process or phases through which you come out of it after the surgery. So the inflammatory stage is what America is experiencing now. Can we allow it to come to the maturation state? Then we can now complain if he's doing something right or wrong. Like Musk stated, I strongly believe in Trump. I strongly believe that whatever he's doing right now is for the betterment. I mean, if there is any word like that, for the good of Americans, right? So I don't see anything wrong that this guy is doing right now. Somebody, yeah. Let me even use the opportunity. Somebody asked a question. If and I think it was Okida Notega that we should condemn evil when we see one, and he made an example with what happened between Nigeria and the Biafrans. That if it were Igbo children that were killed, what will I say? No, Igbos did not invade Nigeria and begin to kill Nigerians. Rather, Nigerians were the one that invaded the Igbos, that started killing the Igbos. So Igbos were just trying to defend itself. So you can't equate these two things now. On the other hand, you have a country that invaded one and then killed its citizens, and the country is retaliating now, and we're now shouting, trying to carve out some emotional stuff. No, I don't fall for that.
Yeah, but you have to start from number one. Don't start from
the way
Nigeria from number two, Nigeria, don't start there. Start from the beginning.
No, the way Nigeria's civil war kicked off was actually Biafra invading the Midwest, and that was how it actually kicked off.
All right, can I ask a question, I beg, gentlemen?
Go ahead, Master. Go ahead. Forefather is on leave.
Okay. All right. So it's like 3 questions, but they all point to the same place. The first question I would want to start from asking you were talking about Trump having economic eggheads around him. Do you have an idea who these people are? Who is the head of Trump's economic team? Do you have any idea about this person, or you are just assuming?
Like I said, I believe in Trump's ability to.
Okay, so you're just assuming.
I believe in him. If I hire a manager for my company, I interview this manager. I know that this manager is capable of handling my company. I would let this manager handle it the way he wants to handle it. I don't go monitoring every of his steps to know who he employs or not. I already employed him, and I trust in his ability. So Americans, 77.7 million Americans have employed Trump, and they trust that Trump is going to take America to a promised land.
Okay. All right. Having said that, you know, the problem I have with that logic.
Yes, sir.
If you really live in America, you will know that that's not the American model. American model is not a trust model. That's why there is the Senate. That's why there is House of Reps. Yes, Trump has been elected. Unless if you are saying that you are absconding responsibility to do your bit as a citizen, to ask yourself pertinent questions. And if that is the case, I think you shouldn't even be arguing with people who are saying that, no, we don't trust this person.
So, Maska, who among the Trump's economic team that you think is not competent enough to handle?
No, it's not me. Like I said, if you listen to me, I don't have time.
Because you asked the question, maybe you're thinking that somebody or the economic team is not that competent enough. So who among them do you think is not competent?
That most of the people around him,
it's waste of time.
They don't have any economic pedigree.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Go and check them. That's what I expect you to go and do.
Oh,
but like I said, for me, I have zero interest in having a discussion about Trump or even America's issues. Okay, because I believe we're on 2 different trajectories at this moment. Nigeria.
So you are saying what you are saying that Trump is trying to make the same mistake that Biden made by employing.
Biden did not make
by employing somebody that has never been to aviation school to be the chief of aviation.
I will be honest with you. I think America, for a long time, I think since Clinton, they've been electing the wrong.
So Trump's economic teams, they don't have economic degrees in economy.
I know a couple of
economy
people that he has nominated
or
as.
economics. I mean,
I don't believe in them, but like I said, and the second question really,
that you don't believe in them doesn't mean that they are not competent. Two different things now.
they can't be competent if I don't believe. In my opinion,
let me
they
say
will
this.
not
I want
be.
to go. Masca, when you hear MAGA,
So you ask one.
MAGA, they are
You still have two
anywhere
questions to ask.
benefit.
Okay,
You
well,
don't hear that
the
from
other two
Nigeria.
questions.
MAGA is anywhere benefit.
AY, you are helping Kenneth to escape easily. The second question Kenneth had wanted to ask you, but it's going to be a rhetorical question, but I will still ask because I had wanted you, if you believe that these tariffs, okay, maybe let me not start even from the tariff. The second question actually is if you have a clear idea of the key pillars of Trump's economic agenda. Because I'm sure it's not just the what do they call it now? It's not just the tariffs. What are the other components?
Making America great again.
Yeah, what are the components? What are the pillars of this?
Bringing back a strong economy.
And taxes.
And encouraging and expanding domestic production that will offer Americans job. That is the target.
Can I ask you a question?
No, the forefathers. I was supposed to ask 3. This is just
okay,
number 2.
Go ahead.
Okay, and I think in fairness to you, Kene, I think you've done enough work because it makes a lot of sense for me, even though I think in articulation it could have been better. But I could see you're saying that first there should be domestic production.
No, it depends on what you want to hear when you're talking about articulation. You see, depends on what you want to hear.
Don't be defensive, Ken. Me, I'm not in America. I'm not an American. I have, I repeat, zero interest.
Okay.
I'm engaging in this discussion from an academic and intellectual perspective, pure and simple.
You have more questions?
Yes, one more question. One more. Okay. So this tariff, how do you see it dovetailing back into this this domestic production and therefore the increase in employment?
Okay, domestic production has no tariff. Let's make this clear because the tariff is for importation, right? So domestic production has zero tariff. Now, the domestic production, obviously, people will be employed to work in those companies or industries or manufacturing industries, right?
These tariffs now, how do they dovetail into increased domestic production? How do the two work together?
Hold on, it's just a deterrent. For example, I made it earlier here. If you have a tariff imposed on, let me use China, for example, of which China is the target, right? And you have importers import a commodity from China. Let's assume the water bottle on Bumbure's hands, right? They import it and they're selling it for $50 because they have either do these two things now. They sell it, let's assume, okay, let me come before then. So the importers have two options, either to absorb that tariff or to pass it to the consumers, the American consumers. If they do the second one, I mean, by passing it on to American consumers. Hold on. If they pass it on to American consumers, now the consumers, they have options now, either to buy that product or to source for a cheaper one.
It's only one
so
option.
Now, if they source for cheaper one, if they source for cheaper one, that means importers from China will stop importing. And then producers or domestic industries here will now see the need, the market need for that water bottle, and they will begin to produce it.
Let me help
Sorry, AY, I beg. Because look, I think the best way we can get value from this discussion is to have a give and take. I'm proud of Kenny that he takes a stand and is willing to maintain it. So for me, Kenny, there are two issues from this statement you have made. What makes you, don't you realize that cheaper options could actually come still from another country instead of, say, China?
No. Because
no,
I know.
let me tell you why. Let me tell you why this thing is like that, from my perspective, my understanding. Because if you are placing a uniform tariff for a commodity, irrespective of the country, that I can understand. Like Nigeria is doing. Nigeria is not interested in if this car is coming from Ghana or Ethiopia. Any car coming, this is the tariff. So the idea that you look for a cheaper option is out. Any imported car is at a certain tariff point. That is not what Trump is doing.
No. Masker, let me use Nigeria. Yeah, let me use Nigeria as an example, right? When Bola Tinubu came in, he increased something that we can define as tariff, import duties, for up to 250%. Right? Now, the citizens, the Nigerian citizens now, they now have options either to go and patronize Innocent or Pujo or something else that is being produced in Nigeria. I, for one, I was even looking into Innocent's prices that time to see if I could just get one from Innocent, right? Innocent Motors. Now, coming to America, right? If you are a businessman that imports goods from China or Vietnam, you will understand what I'm saying. For example, if I am to buy these glasses, let's say these glasses, at the rate of $20, and it is to be imported from China, right? $20. Then I have another option, locally manufactured one. Hold on, that is sold for $25, right? You see the time that I'm going to wait for up to a week or two for have these things from China. I will just add the $5 and buy it here, that I will have it the next day delivery. I will just get it next day delivery.
But let me ask some question. I don't know what question you're asking. When is your question going to end?
It's not based on goods. It's based on countries. Why is that?
Pardon me, I can't hear you.
You heard me. Maybe you didn't like.
No, that is not going on here. I didn't hear you.
Okay, I'm saying that, but the tariff is not based. It's not good specific. It's based on countries.
Yes.
You
See,
China,
like, yeah.
30%, UK,
Like
10%, Canada, 2%.
See, that is even why you should know that Trump knows what he's doing. The economic team know what they are doing. And a country is a target. If you understand what Trump is doing, you will know that Trump wants to break somebody to fix this country.
Okay,
that is it. He wants to break a country to fix America. And I see nothing wrong. If it is to fix America, I see nothing wrong with that. The only thing that I will call out is if Trump go invade another country to steal their resources or to destroy the country, then I will be against him. But if what he's doing is to revamp the economy of this country, to make America great again, Trump has my 100% support. I don't care what anybody is saying. You can insult me from now to tomorrow. I don't care.
That you are just a MAGA. That's it.
Oh, yeah. No, not just a MAGA. A MAGA with full understanding of the mission and the goal. You understand?
Now, let me ask Kenny. So, what Trump is doing now is to put up the walls so that the local market can develop better.
Exactly.
So, which is logical behavior, and it's also looking to devalue their currency. There's a plan that they are looking to use to devalue their currency. But generally, when nations want to start manufacturing, it's not something that happens overnight. That's if they want to start, high gear manufacturing, it takes a while to get in place.
What do you mean manufacturing? Fafana, let me ask you a question. Do you guys understand globalization? Do you know?
I do understand globalization. Let me ask. There's no true globalization. It's just an illusion that they created that there was true globalization. If there was true globalization, why did they not trade with Brazil? Why did they not trade with South America instead of taking all the trade all the way to China? It was a tactics to pull China away from Soviet Union.
That's why it's called
globalization.
That's why it's called globalization.
Why are they not in India?
You look for the cheaper.
India, they actually learn English language. Why are they not in India?
So globalization, does it mean they must be in your village for you to know it's globalized?
India was cheaper, actually. It was just as cheap or even cheaper than China. And in terms of
how can India be
in terms of
absolutely
hold
not.
on now.
Absolutely not.
Let me finish now. In terms of political system, India was a democracy too, compared to China, communist China.
What has that got to do with anything? The price of tea in
It's
China?
got to do with a lot. You can't.
You just threw words around. You just banded the.
Oh my God!
You frustrate
Don't just
me.
say stuff. Don't
You
frustrate
guys,
me. Let me say stuff.
and forefathers. You guys should be shielding
Communist
yourself.
China. This is not two-sided. This is a one-sided destiny. He's just filibustering
while
I'm trying to make
But in fairness, forefathers, in fairness to America, I used to work for an American company. In 2003, no, 2 even. My company outsourced all its processing to India.
From India?
It's a service industry. Everything was first outsourced to Ireland, Dublin. From Dublin, it was moved to India.
For years, a lot of companies.
From India, it was then outsourced to Poland.
Yeah.
So, in fairness to America, it's not like they pick and choose.
No, the point I was making, Masker, is the word he used, globalization. And AY made a point, and he said, well, there's nothing like globalization in the real sense. He said, because why? This is what forefathers does. He hears a word, doesn't go, and with all due respect, he hears a word, here's a topic, he doesn't do an in-depth research on it, and he just starts spouting it and throwing it out. How can you say America not giving a certain kind of business to China, to India instead of China is not globalization? Globalization just means all the countries trading together. So America, why didn't they give it to Brazil? Well, you can as well say, why didn't America give the production of Embraer planes to Nigeria instead of Brazil? So is it going to benefit us in terms of cost, in terms of production, in terms of consumption when it gets here? This in terms of the expertise of the people producing those products. All these things come into play. The political effects of making, for example, taking planes from Italy or South Korea as opposed to making them with Russia. So you can't just say, oh, well, why didn't they give it to this person, but they gave it to that person? So it means there's no globalization. And that was the crux of me interjecting him, not the other.
You see, they won't let me, and they won't let me answer. He says something about me. There's everybody wants to talk about
his point, I get forefathers' point. His point is that globalization is not innocent. There's no innocent globalization. There's always going to be some ulterior motive.
Yeah, we know that. I mean, that's baked into the pie. I mean, we know that. That's
it never truly existed. If what we had recently was globalization, then even in the Middle Ages there was globalization too, because everybody that can get to each other traded with each other.
Okay.
Before. Maybe even better than all these barriers that they are putting up now.
Yeah, Father, what we genuine? Sorry, guys.
Define globalization to us.
What? No. Here is the question. What will genuine globalization be to you?
Now that is a good question. Real genuine globalization means flow of trade without barriers. If you put barriers, then in other words, you're not competing fairly with other nations. And you can see almost many of these countries have massive barriers. Europe has massive barriers, America has massive barriers, and same with China. They all put barriers and they claim that it's globalization. It's not real.
And why do you think they put those barriers? It's about jobs.
It's always been about power
for their people. But at the end of the day, this is the thing. You see, you can want to create, like I said earlier today, this is nothing new. This is how we got rid of Detroit steel. This is how we got rid of steel mills in Pennsylvania, because it was cheaper to make it in China. It's just business. Before the election, I came on here, I said Trump is not smarter than the dog that I didn't have. Some people took offense at it. I've known this guy since 85. We know their kind. We know what they do. He's a con artist. He's a con man. You can't con me. I know people like this. I work with them.
So it's not cheaper to make it in Mexico that is closer to America,
No,
but it's
no,
cheaper to make it in China.
forefathers, it was actually more cheaper back then. You have to remember back then. Mexico at the
Can I interject real quick? There was a particular statement I made. It's not necessarily just because it might be Mexico is obviously closer. For all intents and purposes, it might be cheaper, but who knows what treaties they signed? A lot of things encompass. It's not a one size fits all. There are other variables that might impede them from trading with Mexico, as opposed to taking the production all the way to China or Nepal or Tibet.
Absolutely. And to add to that, you have to understand where China was. The development of their manufacturing
exactly
was
politics also plays a role.
Just makes sense. It just makes sense.
Yeah.
This is not about anybody.
I can't believe how you guys just buy into that.
No, I don't buy this.
The Soviet Union. Why did not do with Soviet Union?
I have been in this industry for more than 30 years. I'm not just talking out of my backside.
Your dog is better than Trump. Bring out your dog to come and compete, and we'll vote for your dog.
Let me ask the question I wanted to ask. Let me even ask the question I wanted to ask.
You don't just take your mouth and say things anyhow because you have the entitlement to say stuff.
I make money. The market goes down, I make money.
Okay,
I don't care.
And you are richer than Trump.
No more. Let me ask the question I wanted to ask. No more. Let me ask my question.
What's wrong with this guy?
The question I wanted to ask was, Trump wanted to do all these, stuff that he wants to do to promote local manufacturing. Which are the industries that he's investing in at the moment that we know of, that he's trying to build up to increase, mass manufacturing in the scale that he's trying to get all over from China back to America? Which one is he funding?
Industry.
Who's funding what?
Which industry is he funding in America to scale up America's manufacturing base that he's trying to move from China? Yes.
Referring to Trump?
Yes.
Trump is not in his it's not his responsibility to fund industries. It is his responsibility to create an enabling environment for industries to move over to United States. And let me list them one by one. Please give me the time. We have Apple currently talking about moving back or investing $5 billion.
That's company.
It's a company now. What do you call industry?
Industry is a
collection of companies.
Like automobile.
Okay, yeah. Apple produce phone. Apple produce computer.
That's electronics.
Electronic industry. It's electronic industry.
I think to be fair to him, but he's not investing. He's just looking to bring Apple back. Okay.
We have in electronic industry. We have Apple. We have Samsung talking about moving back and investing massively.
An American company.
Samsung, Korea. Samsung is now moving back. Samsung is Korea.
My brother, Toyota is not an American company, but Toyota is moving back. Toyota is in Canada. They to produce in America. To produce in Canada. Please allow me. Hold on.
Already here.
Industry. We have
Carolina. They're in
There's
Alabama.
noise coming through. There's noise coming through in her.
No, not from
They're already here. They're manufacturing.
Yeah. He asked me, can do, please. He asked me a question, right? The electronic industry, we have Samsung and we have Apple. Massively talking about investing right now. The automobile industry, we have the GE Motors or whatever, GM Motors. Already, last time during Trump's the first time, we all witnessed how he supported them. And today we have Tesla talking about moving back to America and investing in America. So we have a whole lot.
Where has Tesla been since? I don't understand. Tesla moving back. I don't understand.
When it comes to we have GE. Hold on. We have the GE or Aerospace announced just last week that they will be investing $1 billion in the manufacturing operations across 16 states in this country, creating about 5,000 new jobs.
How many $1 billion?
$1 billion. that will create about
I thought you would have
5,000 jobs.
mentioned the $300 billion they are looking to invest in AI, but I guess that one doesn't employ a lot of people. That said, let me ask you more detailed question about what you are talking about. You are saying it's going to bring Tesla, Apple manufacturing back. Have you looked at the total number of employees those people have? Is that anything near the scale of employment that they need to create in America to be able to fix this? And then not to mention the cost in terms of profit. How is it going to be profitable for Apple to have that kind of manufacturing done in America? Because for Apple to be profitable, they will need support from the government.
Let me tell you what is going on, right? You see most of these companies.
Sorry, one at a time. Sorry, let's hear from Maska. Maska will say something.
Okay, Maska, go ahead.
That you, after forefather, on top of forefathers' question, the industries you mentioned, you need to note also that if you take Tesla, for instance, there's no car manufacturer today that you go and see people manually moving parts. It's all robots. So there won't be any job.
But if somebody built the robot, somebody maintains the robots, right? It's human beings. See, when you have a comprehensive, you see those 5,000 new jobs.
Why do you want 5,000 new jobs? Give robot job to one person.
What forefathers is saying, which I'm adding on top, is that the industries you're talking about, they are not a major job creating industry. How many people are we talking about? And I'm saying on top of it, even if you're talking Tesla, Apple, these are things that are precision companies. No more people walking in and shoving things. These are robots that are precisely doing things. So if that is his plan, we're only telling you that it is not a smart plan. That's all.
Okay, hold on. So we have 1,500 new jobs, 5,000 new jobs, 20,000 new jobs, 10,000 new jobs. Have a comprehensive list of these jobs and tell me what you have as a
20,000. Where is the 20,000 coming?
See, I cannot do your own due diligence for you.
Go and hold on. You said you are a maga, it's okay.
Let me educate you, Maska, let me educate you. If you are a president and I don't like you, right? And the opposition are part of are saying things against you, it's a responsibility to quote you and hear from you. So what I do is I read what Trump is saying, I follow what Trump is doing, I also follow what critics to know if what they are saying is true or not. I will invite you to go on the White House. White House is a website created by the government, federal government. Go to White House, listen to what Trump is saying. Now go to the critics, see what Trump is doing. Now balance all this and now tell me who is lying or who is doing the wrong thing.
Fair enough, Kenny, but hear me. No, just hear me.
Let me share it on the comment section. I think it will help you to move faster so that you just click and watch and then read through.
Go to the comment section. There are two things, Kenny. There's fundamental difference between politics and governance. The time for election has passed.
I just shared it on the comment section. Please, AY, click too.
But just hear me what I'm saying so that I can educate you also.
Okay, good. I don't know it all, so.
No, I like, see, I've said, and I will repeat it, I like your stance, but what I'm trying to educate you on is that you need to also understand that the electioneering campaign has passed. You cannot be politicizing governance now. Whether you voted Trump or you don't vote Trump, at this point, as a citizen, it's your responsibility to make sure that when your leader is right, you're okay. But if he is wrong, or you hear people criticize, you need to open your ears and listen to what these people are saying.
Maska, let me tell you two scenarios. I understand what you're saying. Let me tell you two scenarios, right? I was sleeping one night. Somebody was calling me repeatedly. I woke up, I saw his call, I declined it. He kept calling, and I picked, and I knew he traveled to Nigeria. I said, "Guy, what is the problem?" He said, "Please, so that he's stressed out." I said, "What is it?" He said he heard that citizens would, Americans with dual citizenship are being deported back to Nigeria. I said, "Who told you that?" He said, "The news is everywhere." I said, "My brother, are you drunk this night?" He said, "No." But I said, "Cool, my brother, just go on custom and immigration's website. You will see all the information you need to see. Stop listening to these liars and propagandas," right? Just 3 days ago, somebody sent me a link. Oh, that Trump said that he's going to deport all all citizens that are, I don't know what that have.
Let's not discuss
right?
all this.
I was like, what is wrong with you?
Deal with this
Thank God there was a fact check already. There was a fact check already on that.
We
I
all
just
know Trump
is
popular with his immigration policy. Let's deal with the economic one. Hold on now. Hold on. Because I think everybody has been questioning you, and you have been sleeping all over the place. Now, the issue of costs. If they move Apple phone to America, from the estimate that I'm looking at, it's going to cost about 20%, 25% more. And this tariff that we're talking about is an American thing. So in other words, Apple will have its phone cost more in America. While the rest, hold on, calm down. While the rest of the world, everything remains as normal. Okay. So the barrier he has put up is going to lock America into itself. Otherwise, except it will have to subsidize it heavily so that America can be able to sell that phone outside America.
But in fairness,
let me tell you what I know. Let me tell you what I did. Not speculated, right? There is kitchen equipment.
Let me
kitchen
answer
equipment, right? That I bought from China. Hold on.
I know space. I know space.
Everybody seems to be interested in this.
You asked a question. You say something. Yeah.
Can you let someone person talk a little bit? Let Kandu hasn't said much for a while.
No, you called me out now.
I know. But
Apple has about $360 billion in cash sitting. Apple can do whatever Apple wants to do. Okay. Number two, Apple just signed the deal to build a mega production of Apple products in Brazil.
And you like that? You like that? You prefer that?
Let him finish. Let him speak.
A few months ago. Okay. So bringing the production, even if all these companies Kenneth just mentioned, you see, these things are not done just because somebody became president 2 months ago. These are negotiations that takes years. In the planning.
Listen, can do. Seriously, now I'm questioning a lot of things, right? We were here on this platform last time discussing about Nigeria. How Nigeria hold on. Allow me to answer it the way I want to. How Nigeria
he hasn't finished what he's saying.
Hold on. How Nigeria needs to move from production, right?
We are now in a
question you can do.
Let him finish.
Finish.
No, let him add that question to me, so I'll wrap it up together.
No, finish.
Okay, so this, if you're talking about Apple, okay, this is not an issue of them bringing jobs to America and to make the cost of the production of the phones more expensive. That's not what it is. If you understand the number of companies that support this Apple production in China, your head will spin. There are unbelievable number of companies that supply everything from the plastics to the wiring. I mean, it's not going to happen. Plus, if you're going to do that, it's going to take years. It's not just something that you just wake up and we're going to do it by December or by next year. So that's not going to happen. The reality is Apple can bring some, I don't know. I mean, I know people that work for Apple in America that work in different security sectors for Apple and some other companies like that. So it's not like all of the jobs are just being done in China. But the reality is this, whether it is Apple, whether it is glasses, when you put those tariffs, even if you force American people to go and take those jobs, those people have to be paid more. That means everybody that shops at Walmart, people like us that shop at Walmart, Target, Kohl, every price of those products, from ordinary plastic bottle to slippers, will go up. So that is what they call inflation. You are creating inflation by
Okay.
your own hand.
Another thing they call inflation is when you print new current money.
But we're not
Just go
printing
print
anything
money
right
because
now,
you are
sir.
incompetent, you can't generate revenue. That is another thing they call inflation.
we're not
And we witnessed that
anything.
when Biden was the president. Now let me come in here.
I
Hold
need to
on.
wrap this up very
Yeah, let me
soon.
come in here, right? Can do what you just analyzed is not true. That does not make sense at all. Hold on. I allowed you to talk. No interjection, please. Let me talk my nonsense, right? So we have greedy importers, greedy manufacturers. I've illustrated this several times on this platform. You see that phone that you are using called Samsung. If you have anybody in China, and I'm talking because I have people in China doing business, right? So if you have anybody in China, ask him, how much is that phone sold in China? If you convert the rate to American dollar, it will not be up to $100.
No, sir, that is not true.
iPhone.
Hold on.
That is not
iPhone will
true.
be
I'm
$100.
telling
Are you
you.
serious?
Hold on.
That's a fake
Let me
one.
tell you
Now,
Is he talking about clone phone? He's talking about clone
It's still
Samsung
a different version of the same
hold on.
It's not
Hold
the
on.
same
Hold on. Yeah, let me finish. Now,
I need to end the live stream, man.
somebody should quote, please. When these greedy importers import these items in America, they maximize the profit beyond greed. That is what you should understand. Now, and I'm telling you, if you don't know this, please go on Chinese websites in China. Have a translate. Thank God we have AI now that can translate, because most of them they will advertise it in Chinese language. Translate it to English. You will see the prices of these items in China.
Let me ask you a
Hold on.
question.
Hold on now. When they import it to America, they maximize the profit. So my question to you now, will you rather prefer to have these jobs move out of the country, whereby refusing, kind of not giving people opportunity, or have these jobs in America that will create job opportunity for people? They move it out of America, there is no job. They move it to America that will create jobs. You said no. Which one do you want? What is the color of our problem?
I think we've had enough for one
Which one offers
session.
jobs opportunity? Is he moving it out or bringing
Calm
it back in?
down. Don't worry.
It's a common sense thing.
And no matter what you are going to say now, nothing is going to save Trump for the midterm election. So now let me bring KJ in.
Talking about tough time. I don't know what you're talking about.
I want to ask a question.
He's talking about tough time.
Let's bring KJ in, then we'll wrap up from there. Then if you guys want to have a bit of
can I just put in a small word? I want you to understand that there's a lot of stories out there that in the media that are not correct. But I'm not going to waste my time to try and give you to go and check it. If you want to help yourself, you could go and check it. Now, there's also what you call, you see, Trump is fighting a lot of sides. And there are very few analyses that are out there that are correct. I'm not saying that everybody's going to say, oh, this man is doing a great job. But those who are willing to say the truth will equally tell you that he's doing a great job. If Bernie Sanders can say that he's doing a great job, it means that he's halfway through.
When did Bernie say that?
No, hold on. Now you have been talking since I've been here for over 1 hour.
I haven't been talking since.
Let me just speak. No, let me speak. Allow me to speak.
When did Bernie say that?
Because you have to lie. You have to tell us. You don't have to tell us lie because you have to speak.
I will. That's why I said I'm not going to bother myself. I'm not a researcher. If you think you're making commentary in the public space, you should do your own research. Don't wait for somebody to do it for you. Now, I'm going to say this. When these things are done by Republicans, we find it very offensive. I went as far back as 2012 to go get Obama introducing tariff. and all of you held it as a policy that was very smarchy. I posted a link there, and AY is putting propaganda. You see, I've come to know something in the public space. When people say propaganda, when people call you out and say this is what conspiracy theory, no, they don't have an answer to what you're saying, and they want to use that clause to make you look stupid. Whereas they are the ones who don't know what they are saying. I don't waste my time with such people. Now, coming back to the tariff thing, have anybody bothered to find out when did this tariff and the shifting of jobs from America out to China and the other places started? And what was the reason why it started? And at what tariff, what was the level of exchange of trade between America and other countries? Why is America saying these countries have been cheating us for long and now want a level playing field? That's where to start the argument from. How did it get to that point?
I
Hold on.
it earlier.
Why did manufacturing states, okay, like Illinois and the rest that used to manufacture vehicles, why did they move out of America into another outside countries?
Including the countries of the penguins. Including the countries of the penguins.
My problem with you, I will listen to your contribution here. Nobody interrupted you. You spoke for so long. But now you will not even let somebody speak. So if you want to hear yourself, I will wrap up. I'm not in
Man, you spout a lot of nonsense.
Believe what you want to believe, and let me stop there. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. Let me thank the people that are in the chat. Styles, I can see you there. Kando, you are here too. Oga, Ekene, Madweke, thank you for joining us. Christian, Kene again. Greater Gordage, I see you there. And Peter Jets, Justin Fury, Muhammad Ibrahim, I see you there. Adesina John, Chikezie Bartolome, who else is there? Aladdin K, I can see you there. And let me thank the people that donate Fumio and all the others that are there. Let me thank Tim Majek, Oscar Blackbone. I would like to say that I'm sorry I didn't say it earlier on. People should be trying to be donating to the channel because there's a lot of work that is being done to put this thing in place. We have executive producers now. We have all kinds of people. Even if I'm the one hosting, donate to the channel. It always helps. I gather that it's not always very edifying to ask people to donate money, but we are offering value here. This is not just a plaything, and there are some serious people that come on this panel, and you have to engage them and listen to their contributions. And it's a matter of just supporting the movement. It's a kind of movement that is happening because Dr. Damages is looking to do a lot of different things that if you support, it's going to enable him to do those things. People assume he's rich. No, it's not that way. It's not easy to do this. It's not. So I just thought if I don't remind you, think about it. You'll just be donating. All these people that donated, they help the channel today. It goes a long way. Thank you for the donations, Oscar Blackbone and Tim Majek. And I'm going to thank all the gentlemen that are here. KJ, thank you for joining us. I really appreciate you joining us this evening. Kando, as always, feeling very strong about the economic issues that are being discussed. Kene, as always, causing trouble and always trying to take people's turns. He will let you talk.
On the side of no emotional attachment.
Kene and KJ, if they believe in something,
no emotional attachment at all.
They are like, you can't pull them away from whatever they believe in. And I speak the truth is there. Thank you for joining us. I speak the truth, bad Bele boy. This is Okija, I see you there. And Jide, you came late to we have to round up this session because it's already over time. And I think it's partly because of the our Fulani friend that came in and shared some information with us. I really wish he can come to this channel when we are having these truth sessions, and so that he gets a bit of a grilling. I'm gonna be nice. If you are there, pull out. If you are there, you can come in here. I'm very, very friendly. I'll just ask you searching questions so that we'll be truthful about these things. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us. Till next time, We are going to come together again. I think tomorrow, actually. Today. It's actually today now, since we've gone to the next day. Till next time, bye.
You are on today, oh.
Yeah.
Nigeria's call, oh, back to serve.